Hello, 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 love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost!
But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget yourself, pal.
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey! The man with the finest beard on this screen. Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Between Two Beards. Getting down.
Hello, hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And y'all know what that means. It is another new episode of Between Two Beards. PLUGGO.
Woohoo!
I know, right? Got another big one tonight, bro. Got another big one tonight. Number 191. 191.
Yeah. Yes,
That already
we're here.
happened.
What?
That already happened.
What already happened? Oh.
This.
Do we not have a new one of those?
We have a ticker, but again, the
I was
ticker.
just trying to make the boss happy, man.
Yeah,
You know,
we're
he
supposed to
makes
have a
these
ticker about what's
infographics,
going on
and I
this
wanna
week,
push
but the
buttons.
only one that I
I
have.
could do this.
We could. He's a legend.
The
He
wrist
is a legend.
man.
Did you see? I mean, yeah. We're supposed to have a ticker, but the only ticker I see is for the ticker that was there last week. So I don't know where that ticker is supposed to be. I don't want to do the one from last week.
I was just.
But what?
Yeah, I was just pushing buttons like I'm not supposed to on this show. But yeah, can you guys believe we're almost to 200 episodes? This is true. We are at 191. So in just mere 8 episodes, we'll be at 200 of these things. Come hell, high
That's pretty good.
water.
That's pretty good.
Blood, sweat, tears. We're going to make it. We've done it.
I know. We got the boss man in the chat.
We're preemptively celebrating, which we all know in wrestling is not a great thing to do because you get, thrown over the top rope at a Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Yada, yada, yada.
We sure do.
Which we're a week away from the Royal Rumble. Well, a little over a week away, I should say. We're going to be there.
We are going to be there. And, we have a guest that's going to be joining us here in a minute. They're also going to be there.
Big time guest who big timed us last time he was supposed to be on. He didn't think I was going to let him get away with it.
Don't do that. Come on. Come on. Come on.
He knew what kind of program he was coming on to.
Listen.
He's been here before.
He has. He has. We have Grant Matthews, Wrestle Rant, joining us tonight. We're going to bring him on.
Big star.
Yeah. He's been on here before a few times. We love having him. I saw him about a month ago at NXT, and I was like, got to come back on, bro. And we're here, so we're going to bring him up right now. He's joining us. That was not, I did not co-sign that. That was all him. That was all him. I had nothing to do with that.
I'll give you some inside detail here. I knew well ahead of time I wasn't making that scheduled appearance 2 weeks ago, boys. You're going to enjoy the ride I'm going to take you on, all right? The final boss here is going to take you on a ride, and you're just going to enjoy it. But in all seriousness, I appreciate you guys having me and having me back.
Us, huh?
Yeah.
20 steps ahead of us, huh?
Yeah.
You
Listen,
like that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like what I did on the Netflix debut? I know your role.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, listen, you just got to roll the punches, all right? And I'm glad to be back, and you guys didn't ban me for life despite my canceled appearance 2 weeks ago at the last minute. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Happens to the best of us.
of course. And I knew immediately the second you kind of reached out to me and was like, yo, we might have to reschedule. I was like, yeah. I was like, let's get a date in place immediately. So we know, like, this is
Let's
happening.
lock him in. So
Like what I did. That's what I did. I said, couple weeks. You want to come on in a couple
Yep.
weeks? Good. We'll talk some Saturday night's main event. Just kind of what's going on. Beauty. And it kind of works out because I wasn't aware that you were officially going to the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
You told us before we hopped on here. So all three of us will be together in person again. Obviously,
So-
I've met you a few times, but you and Pluggo met for the first time in Cleveland.
It
Yeah.
was a very wonderful. It was a very wonderful moment. But I have a feeling this next time we meet, he's punching me for slandering his.
I mean, you threw him under the bus there, dude.
So if
You
I'm
spoke
in
no
the-
lies, Pluggo.
I'm
You
just
speak no lies.
Yeah. And Spencer is in the chat. He says, please make sure to ask Graham about the time that him and JPJ didn't ride the Vegas roller coaster with Rick Ucchino and I. That is true.
Just
That is
slander
true.
after slander here. Listen,
Yeah,
just
it's
story
unbelievable.
after story. I just got a terrible reputation. That is true. I will also honor that that
Is
statement.
that
That's-
because
that's
you're
correct.
anti? I think we've talked about this, but I forgot. Is it because you're anti roller coaster, or you just were like? I'm
Depends
just
on the
not-
roller coaster. I saw that coaster. It did not appeal to me. That looked too scary. I just couldn't do it. I don't know what JPJ's story is. I don't remember, but I
Yeah.
just couldn't do it.
Oh, wow. Dustin.
And they had an amazing arcade
Wow.
too.
Wow. Pluggo, it's
Are
good.
we gonna
no,
do this?
No, Pluggo.
Dustin,
No.
my guy.
Pluggo.
Listen, hold on. I'm very complimentary of Dustin all the time. I think Dustin is an absolute gem of a human being. But are we really gonna do this, Dustin? Are we gonna go there? Listen,
People
here,
are
bud.
people are coming in hot. People are coming in hot tonight. They're coming in
Get
hot.
off the screen.
Going right for the
Listen.
jugular. Going right for the jugular. It's unbelievable.
Come on.
So the main I am not anti roller coaster. However, I wanted to be in the arcade. The arcade there where we were that had the roller coaster had a really, really good arcade.
Mhm.
The
I did.
line for the roller coaster. You had to buy the tickets beforehand, but the line kind of looked like something I didn't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And like of roller coasters, I like, and that is true. Spencer and I did have quite a few refreshments. And it was an upside down roller coaster, which
Yeah.
again, I'm not against
You
upside
were
down
sitting
roller
upside down
coasters.
like this? Like you
But
were
like
up-
if I've
oh,
had a
man.
few beers and some food, if one of those upside downs goes the wrong way, it's over for me. Like the day's
that's-
over.
like that scene in the Sandlot.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, the day's over. Either I'm going to get sick on the spot or I'm just going to feel sick the
Understand.
rest of the day.
Yeah.
And I couldn't chance it. We had things to do. I couldn't chance it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to hang back with Graham. We're going to play
Yep.
some video games. Him and
Listen,
that's when we
deal or
kind of
no deal?
bonded.
Yeah.
That's why him and I kind of bonded a little bit. It was kind of we kind of got to know each other a smidge.
And that's
And
why
that's,
we're here today.
fast forward, that's where we are. Now
Yeah.
we see each other at all. He's based out of the Northeast like me. We see each other at not all, but a lot of local
Yeah.
New England, Boston, Massachusetts, Providence type shows.
Mhm.
And now your boys
there
are
it is.
coming on down to the chilly,
There it is.
frigid
Yes, we are.
Midwest.
Yes.
Ugh.
Well, listen, we're in the Northeast, so it is. Again, I
Yeah.
know you guys
Gross.
are
By the
a
way,
different.
it
You have
is
a different type of cold
gross
going
over
on right
here
now.
right
Yeah, you have a
now.
different
Yeah.
type of cold going. Now, is that supposed to be cleared up by next week, or is this supposed to
Nah,
last
I
for
mean,
a?
it's supposed
a
to
long
be-
amount of
okay,
time?
So for the shoot job, I have to do outdoor work at times, and obviously they want
They should
you
not
to-
alw you to do that this week. It's like
Right,
negative
right.
20.
So this is what I'm saying. They want you to do that outdoor work. Like they want you to kind of plan around the frigidness. So tomorrow, from it being -10 yesterday,
What's it like
tomorrow's
-4?
Tomorrow's supposed to be a crisp, cool 26 degrees. That's
Oh, all right.
prime. That's prime
Bro,
shorts weather, bro.
I was gonna say you should be wearing
Shorts
shorts. bro.
weather.
You get up there in shorts.
I'm gonna be up on the roof.
What are you
getting
talking
tan
about?
at work?
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Oh,
They got
man.
the jacuzzi going out back.
But so I checked the Indy weather report. Now it could change because this is Indiana and it changes daily, but it does look like it's supposed to be around 35 to 40.
Okay.
Listen,
For the
That's
for-
bearable.
I think on the Friday for sure. Saturday I think it's a little colder, but in the 30s. So hey,
listen.
sun's
That's
out,
nothing
guns
that,
out, boys.
that's nothing that Graham and myself are not going to be used
I mean,
to
during the
being
day
in.
anyway. You're talking during the day because I had checked like literally yesterday or the day before because I was curious. It was like we're talking. It's 8:00 Eastern here. I forgot Indianapolis was also Eastern time until like an hour ago. Just a heads
Yeah.
up. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I looked it up a couple days ago around 8 p.m. and it said it was like 11 degrees over here, which is freezing. But then I looked up Indianapolis thinking it might be slightly warmer, and I have no sense of geography. It was -3 degrees at that point. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like this is now? Is this is like it's a polar vortex? You know, they get all these fancy words for now things when things get a little haywire. But is this something that, because obviously in New England we experience all 4 summers, so we get a cold winter, we get snow. It's
summers,
all 4 seasons. I'm sorry. So
4
we get
summers snow.
Yeah. We get a cold winter. It snowed last week. We got like 6 inches or so last Saturday or something like that. So for me, is it normally get that cold every year, or is this like an it's not this cold often?
We usually get something like this.
So it's usually in like the negatives, like teens and
so there's always some polar vortex. Rainmaker pods tonight.
Yeah, I was asking if you dyed your beard.
No, I did not.
Maybe it's the lighting.
Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it's the new setup. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I did not dye my beard. I've never performance enhanced my beard ever.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I
never have either. I just let it go.
Ryan Day, that piece of garbage who uses a Sharpie to color his garbage beard.
God,
in
you see what you did, Justin? You see what you did, Dustin? You see what you did?
Yeah.
You see what you did?
Starting
He's going to be on that all night.
Ryan Day, you want to fight Lou Holtz?
He's going to be on that all night now. It was Monday. I'm sure he had gotten over it a little bit, and then you brought it right back.
I
Dustin.
actually was fine.
6 minutes in, you brought it right back.
Dustin had to.
And now he's going to be mentally ruined
rest
this whole show. Damn it, Dustin. Anyway, we appreciate you being here, Dustin.
Oh,
you came in hot.
But yeah,
you
sorry,
came in
sorry,
hot.
Graham. Sorry, Graham.
No,
But
I
I
love it.
maintain Graham's been here before.
Of course. I thought we were talking Christmas to start off this thing. I know we're a month removed.
I will say this. Mrs. Pluggo, speaking of Christmas, Graham, she took down
Oh my God.
all but one of the Christmas trees.
That's what I was gonna
Already?
ask you. That was my
All but
question
2.
for you. It was less than a month ago. I thought you said
Already?
you
I
had,
figured those would last the winter.
we spoke in August, and I thought you said you had like half of your decorations up, Pluggo.
We did.
That surprises me.
We did. She left up one tree in the living room. It's now a Valentine's Day themed tree. It's got
That's
then
cool.
The one of our sons wanted to keep his tree up in his room year round.
Oh, they have personal trees.
We have each room
Very
has
nice.
its own
Each kid has a personal tree.
at
That's a
this
nice
point.
touch. That's a nice touch.
And to top it off, Graham, since the last time we saw you, somebody gave her another tree that is in our garage currently, which
Oh,
next
that's
year
cool.
will make
The
its
garage is
debut.
even getting a tree.
Well,
Everyone gets a tree. You get a
it's just
tree. I
in
get a
there
tree.
because it was too late in the season. to
Got
add
it.
into She
Got
had
it.
she's basically redone the entire upstairs.
So now she has to
while
redo the floor plan for this new
Yes,
tree
yeah, we're
next
gonna
year.
have to
So now she's got to
reconfig.
you got to figure out where the extra tree goes now, because I assume every room in the house has a tree at this point.
Yes, it does.
So how the hell what room gets 2? Does the
Exactly.
garage
We're gonna-
actually
we're gonna
keep a
have to
tree?
Maybe the kitchen gets its own tree.
The
right
kitchen
dead
gets a
center.
tree.
Who knows? We'll figure this out.
Because you have
We will.
smaller ones, right? Could the kitchen become like a?
Well, the kitchen has like a tree farm in it. Yeah,
Oh, I
so
was gonna.
trees
Oh, okay,
that
I was gonna
they
say,
have
could
to-
one of the smaller trees become a centerpiece?
We
maybe?
could put one out on the porch.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Put on
I've
a
actually
porch
seen that.
tree,
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
where we start to illuminate see, this is the first year she's ventured outside. We got a blow up Santa Claus.
He doesn't leave the
style
house.
Elephant.
He doesn't leave the house. Oh,
The Christmas decorations.
Oh,
ventured
gotcha.
outside.
Okay,
We
I
had
was
a
like,
we
what?
had an elephant with a Santa hat on with a present this year for the first time ever. So I'm assuming next year we're gonna go crazy and
in like
I think-
11
I
years.
think what happened is
in
is
like
our
11 years, Pluggo's gonna have the house,
Yes.
the
Mhm.
Christmas vacation house, where he
Christmas
plugs in the
vacation.
thing, and
Has
it's
to.
the whole
Everything.
street's lit up.
Yep.
And his neighbors
neighbors-
hate him. His
The,
neighbors
no, the
hate him.
neighbors
Yeah.
decorated this year. These are new neighbors. They decorated this year, and I think that got her going.
mood.
It was like
You got
gotta
him
start-
motivated.
We got to
Yep.
start getting outside. We can't let these people dominate.
Mhm.
We got inside unlocked. They got outside. We got to take over.
Mm,
And we got the corner lot, so we got
Yep.
we got to take care of 2 streets.
that's fair. Yeah,
Asia
you need
Joe
people on both
saying,
sides.
Gotta lead
Pluggo
the
would
way.
never Ryan Day that beautiful beard. Thank you. I am fresh and clean like Marcus Freeman.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. So where I'm from, like a couple towns over, they have a street where you literally like every house on the street
Mhm.
goes balls to the wall with the
That's awesome.
decorations. And when you take you can go any weeknight, obviously when it's dark out, but there's always a lot and it's a little side street. It's a little own neighborhood. It's called Rockvale Road.
Mhm.
And it's like a circular street. and every house does something wild, and the street is so popular that it has its own radio station.
Oh wow!
So
That's
when
awesome.
you take the turn onto the street,
Yeah.
there's a sign at the top of the street that says, "Put on 90 whatever point whatever."
Yeah.
And as you're going down the street and looking at all the houses, the music on the radio station is synced to the performances happening on the
Oh,
house.
that's sick.
It's insane.
I imagine it's Christmas like themed.
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. But they
That's
hit all of
awesome.
them. They have like the traditional Christmas musics,
Mhm.
kind of some hipper ones. They got a couple, of the funnier kind of like, I love the song "I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas." That is one of
Good
my
song.
favorite
Classic.
Christmas songs, but like that's on there. So they throw a couple of like the funny, quirky ones on there too.
Yeah.
But it's like crazy. You're like,
Yeah.
I look at it and I go, you have to leave this shit up all year. Like
You have
you're not taking the amount of time
Yeah.
it would take for you to take all that down and then put it back up. Like
that's the thing.
that. No, you just leave it up. You just leave it
Yeah.
up.
Deserves to
Wild.
be, recognized and appreciated for more than just 28, 30 days. So that
Yeah.
makes sense. That sounds
100%.
cooler than just going up to the
Exactly.
Christmas lights,
Thank
which are
you.
nice, but
JPJ
that's like a full.
believes.
I mean, we've had this discussion before.
Listen,
I'm not a
Yes.
book. I'm not a big like all year round Christmas guy because I'm super December 1st, December 31st. That's my time. But for stuff like that, I can totally understand. Pluggo, I give you a pass because you go all out for Christmas, so I appreciate the passion.
yeah, that's how I am.
I
just
don't ball out for Christmas. Mrs. Pluggo balls
That's
out
fair.
for Christmas.
I mean,
That's fair.
by
And
association.
I just like the way she looks, so she can do whatever she wants.
there
it
you
is.
go.
Asian Joe's asking a good question. He goes, if you could pick one wrestling action figure to be used as your Christmas tree topper, which would it be?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
Sting?
Yeah.
You would go Sting. All right,
This-
that's fair.
Stinger.
I thought that was Danhausen for a second. Sting's a good choice.
Rainmaker coming in hot.
Hmm.
Oh, tarps off on Saturday. Oh God.
I don't know. That's a good one. I'm trying to think.
Right?
Got to be something colorful though. I don't know. I have like wrestling superstar
Who's
ornaments, but not an actual
I would
figure.
say
That's a
I
good one.
would say the New Day before they turned heel because they had all the bright.
What about like
colors.
John?
Yeah.
You might not be
John
able to see
Cena.
him, but what about John Cena?
Yeah.
You get him
When
an
you can
action
see him,
figure
like
and
you
one of his
said, yeah.
colorful. You give him a red or a green
yeah.
shirt action figure.
Maybe
John
it like
Cena?
lights up, it changes,
Yeah.
colors or something based
Yeah.
on the colors of his t-shirts.
I
can see
also
that, John
think
Cena.
Charlotte Flair and the Queen garb would kind of
Yep.
fit the vibe because
Yeah,
people do
that would be
angels
cool.
sometimes, and I
Yeah.
think it would have a similar look if it was
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair presented in the robe and
Oh,
things
yeah.
of that nature. I think
How did
that
they
would.
not make that on WWE Shop?
You
by the
know,
way? I feel like that
we're,
would
we're giving
still
them $1
be-
million bucks. We're giving them $1 million bucks right now.
They make some. They have some Christmas stuff. Like they have Santa with the WWE Championship
Yeah.
belt.
Oh yeah.
I always said
Oh,
they need to
I've seen
partner
it.
with the Grinch to have the money in the bank.
Oh, that'd be good.
Put
That'd be
that in
good.
your yard.
I'd buy
Surfer
that.
Sting, yeah, Surfer Sting. If you wanted
Surfer
colorful
Sting.
stuff,
I could see
Surfer
that.
Sting will work.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with Christmas, but they used to have WWE Shop used to have like things for kids, right? So like,
Mhm.
they had a onesie once, and it was when Lesnar was around, and he had the shirt that was like "Eat, Sleep,
Yep.
Suplex, Repeat,"
Yeah.
but it was a onesie, and it had it in the same way, and it said "Eat, Sleep, Poop."
I was gonna
repeat."
say, what did it say? Poop.
Yeah, and I
That
was
makes
like,
sense.
God damn! I was like, if I had any of my cousins, anybody had a child, I would buy 5. Like I'd buy a dozen of them.
I
There's
bought
the
that
gift.
actually. Not
It's
that
tremendous.
specifically, but they used to, like you said, have a lot more kid stuff on
Yes.
WWE Shop. So I think I had like a younger cousin, baby cousin, whatever it was
Yeah.
when he was super popular. But they had a Ryback, Feed Me More bid,
that's a good one,
which I
too.
thought was fitting. That just
Yeah,
made perfect sense. So I
100%.
got that for them. They're not even a wrestling fan. I'm like, honestly, this is for me, but I can't
It's
use
popping
it.
you. It's popping you. And if I would have, like,
Well,
if my
thanks a
nephew
lot,
was,
Graham. By the way, you
Yeah.
just mentioned Ryback, so now we have to deal with him because he's gonna be like, somebody mentioned my name.
that
Mhm.
is true. He might just
Still,
pop out
I'm
of
He's
gonna
been
the
show up at the
awoken.
Rumble.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
Oh my
might just
God.
pop
yeah.
out of the
I'd
bushes.
pop. There's gonna be
Might
someone
pop.
popping in that press box. It's gonna be me.
If
Yeah.
Rick
Feed me
Ryback
more.
shows up, I'll tell you this: I have been pining for X-Pac to be in a Royal Rumble for
I
like
agree.
4 years.
Yep.
And if we
Yep.
are there together, and that buzzer goes off, and I hear "make some noise," I'm jumping,
Dude, he
jumping out of my
really, like,
seat.
I
I've been
know.
ready for it.
Let's
For
do
s-
that.
Seriously, how the heck has it happened? Hasn't happened yet.
What off the wall Royal Rumble entrant do you
Off
want?
the wall.
Yeah, don't be like, you know what, I want to see, Brock Lesnar. Give me something.
For
Give me
me,
something that you would pop that, like you said, Graham, earlier, you'd be the only one in the press box popping.
yeah. Well, Ryback would be ironically because I used to be a big Ryback guy. The guy's off his rocker now, so probably it would just be a laugh. Like if he came out and Cena eliminated him in like 10 seconds, that'd be funny.
That would be
Ryback, yeah. Hey, listen, you never know.
Oh,
For me, my off the wall prediction, I've been saying this for at least 10 years. I don't at this point, it's not going to happen. But I saw that he was scheduled for WrestleCon that weekend in Indianapolis, Mr. Kennedy. I don't know if anyone
that'd
would
be good.
remember. I don't know if anyone
Yeah.
would give a shit, but that would pop me personally.
Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah, X-Pac is the one for me.
Mhm.
More, I think one that is an actual possibility is I think if Joe Hendry shows up in the Royal Rumble,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that'll be a
I feel like that's a
monster.
slam dunk. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, especially like he just won the TNA World Title. They just got the official
partnership,
and he's been calling out John Cena in every interview he's been doing.
The NXT treatment where they all just eliminate him right away.
No, I hope not.
I hope
that was
not.
Such
but
a
like,
bummer.
That would be. That would be stupid. I feel like TNA would get slapped in the face. How does Jordan Grace get to go in there for 30 minutes last year as the Knockouts champion? Then Joe Hendry's in there as the TNA
especially
champion.
if he's showing up as the TNA. Yeah, he's the TNA
they'd be like,
champ
that title's
now. You can't.
trash. Yeah.
And I think the fact that he's mentioned John Cena like 2 or 3 times in the last week makes me think that like there's a possibility that him and John Cena are going to have a spot in the like, like maybe he comes out and they just have a stare down or something. Like
that's it.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry will be in the final 6.
Final 6.
Final 6.
Final 6.
Interesting number, not the final 4, final 5. Final 6.
6.
So who else is above him? Who is he sharing the ring with?
Well, that I don't know yet. I haven't got that.
You don't have your final 4 yet?
Well,
I do my final 4 yet.
Oh, that's a good one,
we're gonna
Dan.
be
Dan is
sitting
saying
there.
Abyss because he works in the back. Joseph
Listen,
Park. If they dressed him up
another
as
one.
Abyss, that'd be
I've been
cool.
waiting for that for a long time too.
That'd be cool.
Will we see the Hardy Boys in the Rumble?
The Hardy Boys are a possibility.
That's
I
a
think.
possibility. Yeah.
There's been a lot of
Dude, if you heard the Hardy Boys music,
place would go nuts. That place would need a new roof.
That place would go fucking bananas.
Mhm.
And it's just I think the TNA thing. Obviously, your brain goes wild as a wrestling fan because we just can't wait to fantasy book shit, right? Like that's who we are, right? And then you see this, and you're like, I'm throwing like, I know it probably wouldn't hit like the other ones, but like, I want Dolph Ziggler to show up in the fucking Rumble. I know he's Nick Nemeth.
No,
I think he's Nick Nemeth, but
I think people would pop.
Yeah. I know he like, I want him to be in the Rumble.
The world, I'd go crazy. I
want him to be in the Rumble.
This thing,
The funny thing, it's funny you say that. I don't at this point in 2025, even though he's only been gone a year and a half, so it hasn't.
Yeah, that's why I said it wouldn't hit because he's been
in that way.
Long.
There's no real nostalgia there. I don't give a shit about Dolph Ziggler in 2025. Who I do give a shit about is Nick Nemeth.
Yes,
that's the difference. Like Nick Nemeth's TNA run was great. I just he's got that Dolph Ziggler stench on him if he comes back as Dolph. I feel like it'd be a slap in the face if he came out as Dolph and they're working with TNA. They don't call him Nick Nemeth.
He should come back as Nick Nemeth.
I don't know.
But like I want to see him. That would be nice. That would be nice.
Him and Cena.
A
lot of history.
Yeah, he's got a lot of history there. I think it would be like another chance for the WWE fans to kind of give him his flowers because that guy was good for a long time and underutilized for a long time. I think that would be a cool moment. And yes, he's only been gone for a year or whatever. Like it's not going to be this big nostalgia pop. But I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool if they did
maybe he eliminates Joe Hendry, further that feud, Yeah,
you could absolutely do that. Could absolutely do that. I will say, and obviously we're going to talk about Saturday night's main event, but with the Rumble being next week, we should talk a little bit about the Rumble. Obviously, Dustin, we got Dustin saying, please have Cena and R-Truth be the only two in the ring during the Rumble match at some point, please. I need, in this year of Cena, I just need a very small R-Truth and John Cena tag team run. That they don't got to win the titles or anything, nothing crazy, but I would like to see, I need at least one match where they're an actual tag team. And it's like,
I can see it.
That's very cool.
They're undefeated as a team so far.
Each other.
That'd be cool too. I would be okay with that as well.
Get little Jimmy in there as well.
We got Asian Joe is asking, is this finally the year that Cardona?
He's got to be.
He's got to be, right?
Okay,
I feel like he's one of those guys. Yeah.
So
I can see it.
He completely trolled GCW on Sunday.
Yeah.
Absolutely with that
Yeah.
Tommy Invincible and
he
went out on his back to Jimmy Lloyd.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you pull the trigger on that the way they pulled the trigger on that if he's not possibly leaving.
Possibly leaving.
Mhm.
Or
Because
possibly
it was
going
so
somewhere.
it was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, we're gonna do it. There wasn't much more build, and he's been talking a lot about it. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's there.
I could
Yeah.
see them giving him a ring, yeah, especially with his wife
Yeah.
now being there and whatnot. I mean,
And
she's been there for
she
a
did an
while, but-
interview where she was pretty vocal about how she wants him to get a job back there. And
Yeah,
I
he
would
should.
assume, and he's good friends with Cody. I'm
Yeah.
assuming if any wrestler on the roster has some pull, Cody is one of the ones that does.
Mhm.
You know he's going to be a company guy because he was a company guy when he was there. I respect. I've said it a million times, but I respect Cardona so much because that guy has gotten himself over literally everywhere he's been, including the place where you're not supposed to get yourself over.
Yeah, multiple
And he go-
times, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
multiple times that guy's gotten himself over. And then he
Yeah.
completely reinvented himself with the deathmatch stuff and GCW,
Mhm.
and he's remained relevant. That I have so much respect for that guy. It would be a great moment. And I think that's another one where he should come back as Matt Cardona. You don't give him the woo-woo music and him, Zach. Like, it would be fun at first if maybe
Yeah.
you heard woo-woo and then it turned into whatever, his regular but like, that's another guy like Nemeth. Like, if they come back, you give respect to kind of what they've
Yeah.
done since they've left, and you kind of
I hope so. He's an interesting case. Nick Nemeth, I mean, they don't have to call him Nick Nemeth, but they really should because he works for the company that this company is in a working agreement. That would just be
Yeah.
stupid. If he comes
Yeah.
out as Dolph and then he goes back, it's that because it's not like it's a character. It's not like he's doink, like he's got
Yeah.
face paint. Like that would be one thing. But
Yeah.
it's the same guy. Nick Nemeth is Dolph, just with a
Yeah.
different name. That would be stupid.
100%.
The Matt Cardona thing, he was there as Zack Ryder for so long.
It's
I
true.
could see them wanting to keep that equity, but it's not like he was a main eventer. I mean, he
No.
can come back as Matt Cardona, and he's still it's not the same gimmick. Whatever,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I agree. I think he should be Matt Cardona. The new music, not the old music.
Yeah.
Full of Cody
WWE
Rhodes.
fans would probably want to see Zack Ryder, but like the sickos have been following want to see Cardona.
Yeah. I
We,
mean, he
like,
can
wanna
do the
see
woo
it.
woo woo thing.
Yeah,
He could
of
like
course.
do it when he first comes back as Cardona. I don't know. I mean, he's been gone for so long. I can't imagine there's any diehard Zack Ryder fans that only watched him in WWE that did not
It's
see
true.
him
Well,
anywhere else.
It's
way
true.
to go. The one diehard Zack Ryder fan just said,
He just left. He just was like, I
just
can't believe he
left.
insulted me. I'm
Fuck
out of
that.
here.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
I'm out of here.
Way
I
to
do think though,
disrespect Dustin like that.
really, I do think though, when you look at right now, we have, I think there's like 8 or 9 guys that have announced, and they're all
Top names.
top of the top. Like
Yeah.
it is a star-studded
Is this
Rumble.
the most loaded Rumble so
It's up there.
far in terms
It's up
of
there.
entrants announced?
Of announced.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's up there, dude.
And at
It's
least
up
in
there.
recent memory, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the women's side, though, as of right now, there's 2 people.
Who was the second one?
Bailey just
Bailey and
announced
Nia
Oh,
Jax.
Bailey.
on-
Okay, I knew Nia. I didn't
on
know,
her
yeah.
marathon sprint of 27 shows in 6 days. She
Yeah.
announced
Yeah.
on one of them that she's entering.
There's only 2 women that have been announced, and that we're a little over a week away. We are 9 days away. So we have SmackDown and then next week's shows. And again, I don't need to know 20 of the 30. I don't.
I
think,
agree.
I think less is more.
Yeah, you give me a
Knowing less
dozen,
is
you
more.
give me 15 names, and then we can just assume what people on the roster, NXT, that gives us time to be wrestling fans and go nuts with it, right?
Yeah.
I don't need everybody, but I need more than 2.
Well,
I need more than 2.
I guess that can mean one of two things. One, they're not going to announce like the Katana Chances of the world because they know no one will give a shit, but they will still be in the match. Or 2, it means that we're getting, which we have with a lot of the women's rumbles, because in years past, they didn't have the depth they have now. I say depth. A lot of these women are not over. So honestly, like for them, they get a paycheck by being in the rumble. It's cool. Like it makes sense for like
Yes.
Zoe Stark, who's obviously she'll probably be in the rumble. Would I rather
Yeah.
see a familiar face from the past being there over her? Yes, but logically, you want to put over your own roster.
Of course, yeah.
I could see there being a lot of surprises that were at least NXT women, which they've done before. Last year, I don't really feel like there was a lot. I don't know.
Last year,
Yeah.
they kind of stuck to their
Last year, I feel like there weren't a ton of
Their
surprises.
their
And
roster, maybe
Yeah.
1 or 2 things, which I remember we praised it. I praised it at least last year, the women's side of it.
I thought the women's rumble was excellent. last year.
Everybody
It
had
was,
like a
yeah.
point. Everybody had
Yeah.
like a moment. Everybody had like, and the men's, it kind of felt like we were getting to the end, so there was a little bit more downtime. So we'll see how the women's rumble shakes out. But with this new TNA involvement, you can open up a few things. I think Jordan's an possibility.
Yeah.
Let's hope
Well, yeah,
Tessa,
I
let's
think-
hope
yeah, I
Tessa
think-
Blanchard's not there.
No,
Just
Dude,
gotta
that's-
say
hope
that.
not. Let's hope
Shout
not.
out to the wrestling community, by the way, for saying, we don't like these people in our wrestling and letting it known.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I
you
mean, look
guys.
at some point, if you want things to change, sometimes you have to force the change. And I
She's
think
got to own up to whatever.
that I
don't
think
know.
that's and my thing is right. There's going to always be people that don't like her for obvious
Mhm.
reasons, and a lot of it is deserved.
Mhm.
But she could have saved herself so much time and so much less damage if she just would have owned up to it and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
Mhm.
I was not a good person back then, and I know that."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
again, you're not going to. You're
Not
not.
gonna- yeah, not fix
You're not going to.
everybody.
Not everybody's going to be like, "Oh, I forgive her," and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. But you not owning up to it or taking ownership of it, those chants aren't going to stop, and they might not stop whether you do or you don't.
Yeah.
But there's probably a better chance they do
Mhm.
if you at least come out and you feel it sounds genuine, it feels genuine, that you actually do have some remorse about you being a piece of shit.
Seriously.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not that hard. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
that hard to do unless you're still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And we don't
that's
know.
Yeah,
but
that's the
that's the
thing. We don't
thing.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And
don't
it's
know.
just like,
I can
don't
still
know.
see her. I mean, not now, but if she, even without owning up to everything that's gone on, which happened years ago, but people obviously don't forget this stuff, nor should they. But honestly, like if she doesn't do any further damage, I could see WWE or AEW, probably WWE because they work with TNA, bringing her in anyway. Now, is she
Yeah.
still getting those chants a year or two from now? That's the question. Like,
Yeah.
she gets them now because she just came back, and obviously she should. I thought that was fucking hilarious that she
Oh,
got
it was
those chants in the
incredible.
pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
But
She
is it
was the
happening 2 years
hottest
from now? I
free
don't know.
agent at the time.
She
and then-
was.
Yeah,
Dude,
100%.
she would be in a main event of WrestleMania right now if she didn't fuck it up. For herself.
And like a lot of people forget, and for good reason, but like she was in the discussion of Charlotte Flair, Tessa Blanchard. Like it
Mhm.
was that. It was not,
Yeah,
oh, she's a
basically,
really good
she
independent
had
wrestler.
the-
It was like this person can be the
yeah,
best
pick
women's
of the litter
wrestler
of
in
whatever
the
she
world.
wanted. She could have
In
whatever
the
she wanted.
world.
Yeah.
And then she
But-
obviously,
But
as
I
as
just
it,
think-
as it should have.
Yeah.
He got whatever, but it was just like that. Those were the discussions we were having about Tessa
Mhm.
before all this came out was, oh, not that she's going to be a really good. It was like, no, this person has a chance to be the biggest female wrestler in all of it. And all of
The
it.
crazy thing is that she's still being afforded another opportunity because she's still, if anyone, obviously, I'm sure you guys saw it, the match with Jordan
It was
at Genesis
incredible.
was an amazing match. It was the best match on the
That
show.
was
So I'm
very
like,
good.
man, like she seems like she's still a bad person. I'm not friends with her, so I have no idea. But like, man, she's just really fucking good. Like, why
Yeah.
can't you just own up to her shit and talk about it so we can move on from there, or at least attempt to move on from it? But we're still talking about it because she hasn't addressed it publicly. If she's
Yeah.
done it privately, cool. Maybe she's an amazing person. I don't know. Maybe she's a guru now or something. But we wouldn't know because she doesn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So our perception of her, I think, is justified because she hasn't really done anything to change that public image, which is not good. You would
Yep.
think TNA would push her to do that. That hasn't happened yet. Instead, they're embracing it with her as a heel, which makes sense. But like, I think a couple of years, like she got fired from that WoW promotion where she put out
Mhm.
T-shirts talking about nuclear heat. Like, you're not fucking.
Yeah,
doing
you're
anything
leaning
to
in
change
like
that.
and that that's the thing too. It wasn't just like you were distancing yourself from it.
Mhm.
You leaned into it.
Yeah.
You leaned into it.
Yeah,
And when
and
you
you didn't
lean
say-
into it,
dumb.
you lose the that's it. You don't
Mhm.
you lose the benefit of the doubt. You lose the anybody that would be forgiving. You leaned into it. And
Mhm.
that is really the thing that happened should soured people as it should. There is no
Yeah.
place for that anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you lean into it and you're like, oh, okay. No, dude. Like that, you were supposed to do the exact opposite
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And it's just, it is what it is.
Mhm.
We got Scott in the chat. I guess even knowing there are only 2 people in the women's rumble, he says that he thinks Charlotte is winning, and then she's going to put Tiffy over at me. I do think.
I like. Hold on. I like how
Yeah.
he said that she's gonna put Tiffany over, like Charlotte Flair's known to put people over.
Yeah, I do think that is the Mania match. though.
Maybe
I do think
she's
I do think it
changed.
is
I don't
Charlotte
know,
and
but-
Tiffany.
No.
Um,
We have
I don't
been
think
getting
she's
we have been
changed. I
getting
think-
Charlotte videos, so she,
Mhm.
We've been getting that.
return is coming
Mm-hmm.
and
sooner than later. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wanted to discuss it because obviously we are near Rumble time, and we were talking about the women's Rumble. So you got a bunch of women that are rumored to be coming back soon. Charlotte Flair, obviously, we've seen the vignettes and the videos. Becky Lynch is floating out there that she's ready to go at any minute. You would assume the Rumble would be a place there. Asuka has been out for a while. She's starting to get a lot more visible on social media and on Twitter again, and makes me think that maybe she's right around the corner. And then there was the rumors about Alexa Bliss. Some stuff came out about her today or yesterday that I want to get into separately. But I think that's part of the reason why we're not seeing a lot of women announced, is because I thought they might spread them out, throw one on the Raw on Netflix debut, and then, but it feels like I feel like we're definitely getting Charlotte and Becky. That's like no question to me.
Yeah.
Right?
If they just
That
unload
kinda
the
has to be.
chamber and do it all at the Rumble, Charlotte.
That's
Becky,
that's the
Asuka,
thing.
Alexa.
I don't know.
Just go.
I'm
You
surprised.
got Jade, you got Jordan Grace.
Yeah,
It's just
Jade
this
coming back,
epic-
Jordan Grace. I expect Roxanne Perez especially with the Bailey stuff. I think Roxanne Perez eliminates Bailey, and I actually think that should be the Mania match for them. I think that would be perfect.
I'm surprised Roxanne didn't announce right then and there that
I thought she was going to on NXT. I thought that would have been cool if on NXT television she was like, "I'm in the Rumble,"
because Bailey's in it. I'll be in it. Yeah.
Oh, you're in it, so guess what? I'm joining it too
Not
instead
that
of
I
like being a
should.
surprise.
And not that I don't love it, because I love Bailey. I wrote how excited I was that it was Bailey week, but why is it Bailey week? Like, she's been on everything.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think it's Bailey week because she won the Rumble last year. And I think they're kind of lean. She mentioned it on Raw that she was trying to be back to back. And I think they're kind of leaning into it that like this was her time last year. She just changed shows and went to Raw. Okay. So I think those are the only reasons I can come up with.
Those are the only thing I can come up with. Of all the women on the roster, we went like 7 straight shows with Bailey. Which is great.
Yeah, which is great. It is weird. It just doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot going on with the women right now. Like, I know we have the mid-card title stuff, which is cool. But like Rhea just won the belt back, great. But she's not like we'll get into it obviously. But her and Nia Jax, like, why?
It's a one-off. It's a one-off that we all know how that's in. We all know how that's.
We know how it's going to end. But it's just like we just saw this less than a year ago, and there was no reason to go back to it.
This was around this time last year.
Yeah,
at the chamber. So
I don't know.
That's
I
my
don't
only
really
thought was like, you're trying to bridge the gap between the Rumble and maybe you're gonna do Nia, Rhea. They're doing it that Saturday night's main event.
Saturday night,
yeah. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is.
The
It is
Saturday
very
night main
bizarre.
event being the week before the Rumble too is kind of throwing.
It's
me
the
off
week
with,
before
like,
the Rumble.
Not
It's
good
like
timing.
literally just barely a month after the last one. Like, I know they're doing one a quarter, which I like.
Yeah,
but it feels like this one is like immediate. It's just immediately after the last one. Dustin, that's a good shout because she's been on NXT. Masha Slamovich would be a very cool entrant in the Rumble. She's been floating
Can we
around.
just talk how dope it is for Masha's rise to be sitting ringside at
ringside in a WWE show, and it's like that is Masha Slamovich. Like that rules.
That's cool. Yeah,
that rules. Also, one of those people that if she ever went to WWE, you better never change that effing name.
Yeah, no, they can't.
Masha Slamovich is the perfect name for a wrestler. You do not change it at all.
So change it. You know
it's
they would.
fucking awesome. You do not change that name. One of my favorite names in all of pro wrestling, Masha Slamovich.
They're gonna call her Sasha Mamovich.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want
Sasha Banks isn't there anymore.
They won't call her Sasha because they don't want to remind us of Sasha Banks.
I guess I was gonna. Well, they might do it just to slap us in the face because maybe they think she's not coming back, but she will.
Yeah, it's like it kind of worked out for Damian Priest. I like Damian Priest, but Punishment Martinez is an infinitely better wrestling name than Damian Priest. But that dude's a star, so he made it work. That guy's a star no matter what. But all right. I still want to talk about. All right. So last thing about the Rumble. I know. We got time. The last thing about the Rumble, or maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But 9 days out, Graham, who if you had to pick right now, who you picking as your winners of the Rumble matches?
Oof. I'm gonna play it safe. I would like to see. I would like to see some bold picks, like some unforeseen, people win this thing. My pick to win it, as far as who I think is going to win the men's, is John Cena. I think John Cena is going to win it. There's been a lot of talk of him facing maybe Gunther, going for the World Heavyweight title, or Cody. I just don't really think it's necessary to go to that Cena World title match right now. I mean, you have the entire year. Yes, he can lose. They got
the out, though. They got the out. People are behind it, actually. So
behind
Cena winning it.
Yeah,
so in years past, they'd be like, I don't know about this nostalgic act coming back and winning the Rumble.
It works. I get it. I wouldn't be upset. I would just think, and they also might want to have him tie Stone Cold for most Rumble wins, make him the greatest of all time, which they already call him anyway. I get it. I think it would be more effective, honestly, if you had someone like a Drew eliminate him, and that sets up a Mania match between those two. It puts a lot of heat on Drew. He's pissed off anyway, based off the losses he's had. So, I mean, a dark horse pick for the men and the women would be Braun Breaker for the men. We'll talk about Saturday night's main event, but he could lose to Sheamus on Saturday, win the Rumble the next week. We got that Breaker Gunther face-off a couple of months ago. I'm not putting my money on that, but that's something they could do. And for the women, Io Sky, I don't know if she's a dark horse, but Jordan Grace is she's probably a dark horse. She would have faced Rhea at WrestleMania.
That'd be dope, though. If they went all the way and did something like that, that would be incredible.
Oh yeah,
I think they with Jordan Grace, and I was talking about this on my Facebook page, and I was like, what's her big first feud when she officially goes to WWE? And a lot of people said NXT, but I felt like that was kind of her tryout.
No way.
Yeah, they tease some stuff down there. Yeah,
they don't even need her.
They tease some stuff down there, but like Rhea, could you imagine just strapping a rocket to Jordan Grace? That
why not? Honestly, they could use. I mean, they have a lot of great women, but like I said earlier, and it's through no fault of their own for the most part. A lot of them are just not over. Like Tiffany is a miracle that they have booked her as well as they have. I mean, she lost a lot as Miss Money in the Bank, but it didn't end up mattering because she got over, and she's great and she's a star. But a lot of the women they've called up and just have used and Pure Fusion Collective, not over. Like Io's gotten over, which is great. Liv was really like she rose through the ranks. She's been there for a long time. But a lot of the women, like on Raw and SmackDown, they're just kind of there. Like they're still Michin is on TV a lot. She's very good. She's still working on getting those crowd reactions. So I think Jordan Grace, if you really want to make an impact, you got to work with people who are established and are over. She works with Rhea. She'll be a star from the get-go. If she were to win the whole fucking thing, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, immediate. I kind of view, obviously they haven't had the level of careers equal, but I view Jordan Grace the same way I view AJ Styles. Like AJ Styles wasn't going to go to NXT.
No
way.
No.
Everyone else did, but he didn't. He was, and I feel like Jordan Grace was already in the Rumble last year, had a good run in it, did the Roxanne stuff in NXT already. To me, the presentation alone, you see her and you're like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, like that is a main event, roster level person. That is who that is.
And NXT,
NXT already has those people. They have Julia down
there.
They have Bakar. They got Zarya. They got those people down there already. They're loaded. They don't need another big person down there.
No.
You know who needs a big person? The main roster, because they don't book anybody to be over except the champions.
Yeah.
That's it. Liv Rhea was out. She barely wrestled last year. She barely wrestled last year, and not one other woman besides Liv Morgan got Io, but she's always been over, kind of. Not one other woman on Raw got over.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That whole time. Not one other person. It was just waiting for Rhea to come back. And that's no fault of Liv. I thought Liv stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, great job.
WWE last year lost Becky Lynch and Rhea. One planned and one unplanned in the span of like 5 weeks or something like that. And Liv had to carry that division. Part of the reason she had to carry the division as much as she did is because they don't have anybody else that's fucking over, because they don't book. Hopefully the mid-card titles change that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the mid-card titles change
Hopefully.
that.
Lyra's great. So Lyra's off to a good start.
Chelsea's the right pick. Lyra's the right pick. Hopefully that helps. But they really, really need to start booking everybody through the women's roster like they matter. Because like you said, Zoe Stark, incredible in the ring. That group should be over. Those are 3 girls and the Pure Fusion Collective that are good. That are good.
That name.
The
name sucks. The name's awful.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason
the
why.
Fear of the hearts of their enemies.
Yeah,
Pure Fusion.
It's just they just need to do a better job at it, and it's just kind of one of those things where Liv was great last year because she had to be, and she stepped up, and she had a career year, and she earned everything she got. But it was kind of twofold, because part of the reason why she had to step up so much is because they literally didn't book anybody else to even be able to do that with her.
Yeah, I mean, you look even before that program with Rhea. Liv has been on the show for, a fucking almost a decade. And she was never the strongest wrestler on the roster as far as the women are concerned, but she was decent enough. But it was the character stuff that really got her over. She's always had her fans, but like the Dominic stuff, I'm not saying Dominic got her over, but Liv really stepped up when they gave her a reason and you kind of played off the character stuff. None of these women really have a character. Pure Fusion Collective, what the fuck even is, why are they a thing? Like, what is that as a group? That just makes no sense to me. A lot of these women are there. They put them in random tag matches. But why should I care though? Like they have a lot of good, like, I don't know if there's any one woman in that roster, Raw or SmackDown, that is like deplorable the same way that it was like 15 years ago during the Divas era. There was a lot of bad wrestlers at that point. Everyone now can at least hold their own. Even B-Fab is like improved a little bit.
She's been surprising me. She's been very good. She's been very.
They just got to get these people on the show more and give them something to actually sink their teeth into and for fans to actually give a shit about. Otherwise, they're just not like. You're going to get a match with Piper Niven and B-Fab last week where people just sit on their hands and don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and it was a good match.
It's because Piper Niven is not dressed like a Secret Service agent when she wrestles. I think she should.
That's quite the I love that. I love that.
I like that.
Go full into like being the bodyguard for Chelsea Green, wrestle in a Secret Service get up, and just do that. And I would be like, holy shit. This is the greatest thing ever. Because I love Piper Niven. I think she's fantastic.
She's great. Terrific. I mean, Chelsea's gotten over to her. Like, she kind of feels like what we're seeing, and I'm not even like her biggest fan, but she has gotten over. And Harley Cameron over in AEW, the character stuff. People love Harley Cameron. And I feel like she's kind of the equivalent of what WWE has in Chelsea because they give them a lot of TV time and show their personality. And that stuff gets over. We're just not seeing that enough from the other women on these shows.
Yeah. I agree.
Give me more Harley Cameron all the time.
I say the same. Yeah.
I say that, but they're actually doing it. She's getting more segments throughout.
She is. She was on twice last night. Yeah.
Hilarious.
And it's one of those things where, like, JR used to say it all the time. I use the phrase like maximize your minutes. Like the reason Chelsea Green got to the point where she was crowned the first ever United States champion is because everything they gave her, she knocked it out of the fucking park. No matter what it was, a dumpster match, this ridiculous backstage segment, she was hilarious and she knew this is my chance to shine and she fucking crushed it. And that's what Harley Cameron's doing right now. And guess what? Every week she's getting more time and we're starting to see her even wrestle more now.
Yeah.
She's on screen last night. She wrestled the AEW World Champion last week. She's on screen last night with Tony friggin' Storm, that young whippersnapper. She's on the screen with her, Wrestler of the Year. It's because they have faith in her that no matter what they give her, she's going to crush it. And the crowd's going to get a reaction, and everyone on social media is going to be saying what we all say is, Harley Cameron rules. She's so good. She's great because she is. And it's like, it's just when you have people like that, those people that get over, like that's what it's about. Like you said, you need to allow more people to do that. I've always looked at someone like Nyla Rose in AEW. You follow her on social media.
She's really funny,
hysterical.
Yeah, she's hysterical. Yeah,
incredible. The personality on her is top tier, and they've never really sometimes they'll give you I mean, she's not on TV a lot now anyway, but like even when they would bring her around for a program again, they always kind of would lean into it a little bit, but they never let her just fully be that person. And I think if they let her be that person a little bit more of who she is, she would be somebody that the crowd would demand to see more of, like they kind of have with Harley. You just gotta, sometimes you gotta let your people do their thing,
Yeah.
She's leaning into the hot girl grabs thing, but she's not doing it in some sleazeball, like, gross way. It's like funny and pretty smart. So,
100%.
Yeah, that's what WWE needs to do. They need to give the women's roster some stuff to do and like give them some more backstage segments and things like that. And kind of, you got to get it. Like we've always had that conversation with AEW early on. It's like, if you don't give them opportunities, then you're not going to know if they're going to shine in those opportunities. And that's the problem. Like you're leaning again. It used to be like we lean on Charlotte, Becky, the 4 horsewomen. And now it's like, we're leaning on Rhea and Nia. And Liv.
Bianca.
And Bianca.
Yeah.
And it's like Bailey, we're leaning on, but we got to start building up some more of that undercard so that we can have these moments where we're not going, oh, not that it won't be bad, but do we need Nia and Rhea again? Probably not, but you don't have anything else ready.
That's what I'm saying. Like who else could step in right now to fill this void?
No one on the Raw roster, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no one on the Raw roster, which is why they had to go to a SmackDown person for it. And if it's not Nia on SmackDown, and you're not going to waste the Bianca Rhea match finally on
No,
Saturday
yeah.
night's main event. That's a WrestleMania
Yeah.
match whenever you want to do that.
Mhm.
Like you're not going to, there's really no one else unless you literally ran back either Liv or Raquel.
Yeah,
Those are the
seriously.
only other two people that would make sense. Or Io Sky, but I actually think that's going to be the Mania match. maybe.
It should be.
Yeah,
Should
with
be.
for real.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
before we get there, though, we can start diving in to Saturday night's main event. We only have 4 matches this time, but that's because we have a contract signing.
Yeah.
That's going to be happening. So I guess we can talk about that first. So the contract signing will be between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for the Royal Rumble. They are doing a ladder match. Both titles, the unofficial Winged Eagle World Championship that Kevin Owens has,
it's
and
official,
the
bro.
I
It's
agree.
official.
I agree, but
I'm
official.
team Kevin on this one.
Kevin is right. Kevin Owens has been right this whole time. But so they're signing that, and I believe originally it was going to be Hogan that was going to be this guy, but I think they pivoted to Shawn Michaels, who is from San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I think they pivoted and they said, you know what, Shawn's safe. He's from there. We can make this work.
Mhm.
So
get
Shawn
booed out
Michaels
the
is going to be the
building.
mediator for this. I'm assuming this is going to be regular old standard contract signing affair where they start talking shit to each other and then it devolves into a brawl. And I really want Kevin Owens to try to
Real
package
quick,
pile drive
what
Shawn
was that
Michaels.
weird
That's kind of
thing
what I
on
want
Friday
to happen.
where they
but
were like,
Yeah, seriously.
I'm not signing it till he signs it. I'm not.
it was the
signing it till he
addendum, right?
signs
It was an
like-
addendum.
Yes.
It's like,
It was an
boy-
addendum is
boys,
what Nick
somebody's
Aldis
gotta
had.
sign it first.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Are they going to reveal that, you think? Are they going
I
to reveal, like,
think
what would
they-
the change
maybe.
even be?
I don't know.
It's already a ladder match.
Now this right here that we're
Which,
getting
by
on
the way,
Saturday.
how dope is that we're going to be at the Royal Rumble and we get this thick ladder match with Kevin
Oh,
Owens
yeah.
and Cody Rhodes? Like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
It's not going to happen, but Kevin Owens should totally win.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No.
But now this contract signing that we're getting though, it's not. They're not signing the addendum, are they? Or are they signing the contract?
Well, they needed to sign the addendum before the contract because it was an addendum to the contract.
Okay,
Yes.
so then
So
they
I
need to.
don't-
So
And
tomorrow
I
night
don't
is then,
remember.
right?
Yeah, I don't remember if anything got signed on the addendum side of it. So I'm like, are we doing both in that moment, or is tomorrow night on SmackDown we're gonna get something?
I feel
would
well if
assume.
it. Yeah,
I think they'll wait till Saturday. I think the addendum is being added to the contract, and they're not going to sign it. They didn't sign it on
Okay,
SmackDown, so they're
okay.
like, "All right, we'll force you to sign it at the show at Saturday Night's Main Event
Alright,
with
that
Shawn
makes
Michaels
sense.
being there."
Because
But
Cody
like, that's
Rhodes is the guy that signs everything. He never cares. All of a sudden, he's like, wait a minute. Not
he
this
never reads
time.
the terms and conditions.
Not this time, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's
So I
going
don't
on
know.
here, Code Man?
Yeah,
What's
I don't
going
know.
on?
If you pull down a belt, then that's the belt they go with. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Which would selfishly, I just want the fucking winged eagle.
Yeah,
but
the
we're not
Winged
going to
Eagle
do
is-
that, obviously.
No.
So
but it's
otherwise, what's loser leaves SmackDown? I mean, that's probably not going to happen. I don't know. I'm not really sure what they're thinking.
Yeah, it's like
unless it goes nowhere. I don't know.
unless it's they could do the thing, I guess. Yo, Darren Mason, thanks for popping in. How are you? Hope you're
Loser
well.
can't challenge.
I was
Like,
gonna
if
say,
Kevin
yeah,
Owens
they,
loses,
they,
he
they
can't
really don't lean
challenge
into
Cody
that, but
again?
yeah,
I
okay,
don't
like
know.
you can say Kevin
What's up,
Owens can't
Darren the
challenge
Amazing?
Cody for the title as long as Cody's the
Yeah, I
champ
don't know.
after he or the loser can't challenge the other one or something like. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can
There's
see that.
not a lot of like reinventing the wheel when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it's probably going to be something basic, but whatever
Yeah.
it was, Cody refused to sign it, which is unusual for Cody. That threw me on Friday.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good to see
A little
that they
different.
made him actually looks like a smart baby face for once, because
Oh,
usually
yeah.
he's the guy, and I get it. He's the hero. I get it. But they usually make their baby faces look like idiots.
Yeah.
They look like idiots. Scott, we're going to talk about Saturday night's main event first. I do want to throw out some things that I have ideas of when it comes to the Rumble, but we'll do that on the other side of it. I know we talked about the Rumble a lot, but all right. So we have that contract signing. I think we can all assume how that goes. WWE's contract signings are a lot alike. So I think we can assume that. And then we have 4 matches on the card. And the only one that is not for a championship is a singles match. Big E Dream. This is a Big E Dream match right here. Big meaty men slapping meat.
Mhm.
We got Braun Strowman going one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. Before we talk about this match, I do want your guys' opinion, because last Friday night, we saw Jacob Fatu cut a promo
Mhm.
in ring that I think kind of surprised everybody that they had him cut that promo, but it was also awesome. And he was great. And he, again, continues to just be this guy that showed up, and he's been A+ since the second he showed up. And the kind of the thing they did with Solo before that, where Solo didn't really say anything and he just dropped the mic and left.
Yeah.
Do you see, are they doing like a little separation of the bloodline here? Is Fatu stepping up to be like kind of how Roman left and then Solo stepped up and took over?
Yeah.
Is Fatu kind of following in
Well,
Solo's footsteps?
Solo said
kind of
he
thing?
would acknowledge Roman Reigns as the tribal chief
He
if
did.
he lost. So
Mhm.
maybe he's leaving that ring going, well, I'm not even, why even come out here and attempt to say I'm a tribal chief? And
Yeah.
blah, blah,
He
blah,
can't.
because I've lost. And so maybe that was him tucking his tail between his legs and going back to Roman perchance. But because Jacob Fatu was like, well, I didn't say that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
mine, and it was awesome. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
this is what we've all kind of this is kind of what they were worried about. Remember, they kind of were like stalling on debuting him because they didn't want him to outshine Solo. Well, he definitely
He
Mission
did immediately.
failed, yeah.
right.
Yeah, he did it immediately. The night he showed up.
in
Yeah.
a great
Felt like
in
he
a
was-
great
yeah.
way. Like, he's awesome. He's fantastic. This is what they want. He grabbed the mic with confidence. He chopped through the booze. He didn't let it get to him. And
Yep.
I'm
Oh yeah, they were
interested to
what chanting
see-
him and everything. He went
I'm
right into it.
interested to see where this goes on tomorrow if they revisit it. I'm interested to see what's up with Solo. That was kind of strange. He just kind of like stood
Yeah.
there, booed, and left.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, one-on-one, Strowman and Fatu. I mean, I'm expecting these guys to destroy the arena. It's going to be one of those, I feel like.
Yeah. Has to be.
Very much looking forward to this. Very much. I'm like Big E. I love big dudes beating the crap out of each other. Like, truly. You give me Gunther and Sheamus. You give me Braun and Roman when they were doing their shit and just destroy. Still to this day, I think Braun Strowman is one of Roman's best feuds ever. When
Mhm.
they were just tearing every arena down that they wrestled at. It was just, man.
It's great. We were there.
We were.
Yeah,
We
for one
were.
of those matches. Yeah.
Yes, we
I
were.
was not
Yes,
there.
we were.
Chris Parrish, welcome to the chat, friend.
You know,
See
and
him
it's one
again. He'll
it's
be
one
in
of those
Indy
things
this week.
where I'm expecting this to be a lot of fun, but I'm also expecting this to be a breakout solo performance for Jacob Fatu.
Does
and
this
him
end
getting
in
a huge win.
decisive finish?
Yes,
Decisive finish.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, you could do the rematch on SmackDown, but it's like, I think they shouldn't do any non-finished bullshit on Saturday's main event, I would say.
Yeah, because I think it's gonna don't get me wrong. I think Braun's gonna get his shit in on Jacob. Like, it's gonna be a
squash him,
back
yeah.
end. But I think by the time the match ends, Jacob will win clean and decisively, and then you can have them have a spot.
Fatu squashed Braun
imagine.
Strowman.
Hey, that'd be
Yeah, and
fine by
then
me.
You can have them.
Would be
You can have them do a little spot in the Rumble where they come face to face again in the Rumble a week
They
after the
eliminate each
match,
other
and
or some
everyone's
shit.
like, "Oh, shit," whatever. You can kind
Yeah.
of do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if there wasn't an injury that if this was going to be Jacob Fatu versus Bronson Reed at first.
Maybe. I feel
You know
like if
what I
you were to do that, you'd have to probably turn Bronson. I think Bronson was probably going to face Rollins on the last Saturday night's main
Yes.
event if he was healthy. Maybe
Yes.
though. I could see that. There's a
What
chance.
Bronson Reed done?
I think he would have been in the Rumble and he would have got
the.
the most eliminations.
But I'm saying, like, at the end of he joins the Bloodline to do the 5-on-5. If he doesn't get hurt there, I wonder where his story goes within.
Yeah.
I think he would have just
that
stayed on
group.
Raw, to be honest.
Yeah, he did look like he fit in like a glove.
He
with
did.
the Bloodline though. Like,
Yeah.
it was like immediate, like, oh, he looks like he belongs there, like in that group.
Yeah.
But I
Probably
think you were right. I don't think we would have gotten Sammy and Drew as the fifth match on the first.
Yeah,
Saturday
they probably
night.
would have just done
Would
that
have
on
been
Raw. They did it
Bronson
on
Reed
Raw
and
anyway, like a week later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been
So-
Bronson and Seth. I think
Yeah.
is like the final blow off.
Mhm.
Parrish is saying that Jacob Fatu versus Dragunov, when or if it ever happens, will be special. Listen, I'm under the impression that those two guys are going to be special no matter who they fight.
Mhm.
And when you put them in the ring together, like, yeah, of course.
He's still
Dragunov
out
is another
he's still out
guy.
injured, right? Yeah,
He's out injured, but there were a little bit of
But-
rumors saying I could see him
Yeah.
popping in the Rumble if he's ready
Dude.
to go.
Some
That would be
Super Cena
unreal.
bullshit. That would be
Yes.
fucking crazy.
Yes. Yes.
He like tore his
Yes.
ACL or some shit. The guy got shot in the head or whatever happened, and he's gonna be back in 4 months. That's
Yeah.
great. That is
They're
typical
saying that he's
Ilya
like
Dragunov
not
bullshit.
far away. It's like, bro,
That's
he
incredible.
fucking ruined his
He's
knee.
a special breed, dude.
He really is.
And you know,
Blew out his
every
knee.
every other person in the locker room, if he shows up, will be like, dude, you just set the bar way too high for ACL injuries, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 months, get out of here, you
Crazy.
psychopath.
It's bananas. Pluggo, what do you? Are we all in agreement that this is Jacob Fatu?
Oh,
right? He's
yeah,
not
I
losing
gotta
this
be.
match. No
Yeah.
way.
This would be the weirdest thing ever if they're like, nope, Strowman's going over here.
Jacob's
Yeah.
second match, losing.
We
Yeah.
just had you
Yeah.
dominate the mic. You've looked great. Here's your chance to break away from Solo.
Braun Strowman's beating you. Braun's
Yeah.
beating you. Okay.
He's the fresh
all right.
up and comer. We haven't really
Yeah.
done much with
Yeah.
Braun.
Maybe
Yeah,
under that old regime would I pick Braun
Yeah,
Strowman,
probably.
but not here. No.
Probably.
with a roll up.
Yeah. This one's gonna be a fun one though. I think they are truly gonna just destroy everything. All right. As we move forward, we've already discussed it a little bit, but we have Rhea Ripley, the women's world champion, from the Raw brand, defending the women's world championship against Nia Jax. Now I know there's the transfer portal and all that crap, but Nia Jax is a SmackDown person. Rhea's a Raw person.
Transfer
but we have
window. We're not college football anymore.
no. They said transfer portal. That's what
They
they're
have said both.
is it
yeah.
window? Yeah, they said both.
Should be
All right.
window. No, I'm just.
It should be. I agree. Again, I feel like this is another match to me that it's a no-brainer. Nia Jax is not taking this title off Rhea Ripley, who just won it back. We've seen this match before. I expect it to probably be similar to the ones that we saw before. I think it'll be fine. Rhea's over. I think Nia has been incredibly good since she's returned to the company. She's been an MVP, really. I expect this to be good, but again, this is another match that I look at and I go, yeah, there's not a lot of intrigue to it for me because A, I wasn't asking for it, and B, we've seen it. Like, and I know what's going to happen, so it is what it is. I wish
at
go
the
ahead.
Rumble right now. It's the men's Rumble, women's Rumble, Cena and KO and Cody.
Yes.
Why isn't Rhea or Tiffany have a
Tiffany
match
could
here?
still be.
She
I mean,
still
we'll
could.
find out. She could.
Is it possible that something goes down at Saturday Night's main event between Rhea and Nia that they maybe run that back or
They could
set something up
for any
the
of these
Rumble?
matches. We talked about it before we went live, but I could see Gunther and Jay running it back. But just like, what's the fucking point? Like, the timing of this whole thing is stupid. I know they were contractually they had to do it when they did. I get it, but it's still awful.
It's
timing.
very bizarre. A week before you're arguably, in my opinion, my favorite pay-per-view, but arguably your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, that or SummerSlam, give or take.
It probably
it's a week before.
Yeah,
man.
they
Like,
probably
that's just
if they keep doing this, it probably will be January, likely April before WrestleMania, because April's on the 20th, or it's on the Mania's on the 20th, so it could be in like early April if they want to do that. July, and then October or September or whatever.
Yeah.
Do not do it in December. They only did that because they obviously brought it back in December. They didn't really think this out because it kind of feels like the show that doesn't really need to be happening. It should be a good show, and we get matches like this.
Yeah.
The weirder thing is, like, not only does this match serve zero purpose because we know Rhea's not losing. The bigger question I have is, I mean, Nia, as we said earlier, we know it's Nia because she's the only person they bother to build up that has heat right now. I get that. My issue with this, though, is she's going to fucking lose. Why aren't we still getting Nia and Tiffany at some point?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
If we are getting that, then why would you have Nia lose to Rhea? Like, Nia has not won a match since she lost the title. She's lost like 2 or 3 different matches. She hasn't been pinned, but she's going to be pinned on Saturday. So what's the fucking point?
And
That's
you're not
stupid to me.
you're not gonna blow a major return a week before the Rumble, where that's where maybe they go, but I don't know. It just it's Rhea all day, unless you're gonna. The only thing I can think of is you're gonna set something up for the following week at the Rumble, because Rhea doesn't need to be in the Royal Rumble. She's a champion.
I would expect her not to be.
Tiffany doesn't need to be in the Royal Rumble because she's a champion. But then you have nothing for them to do at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean,
either.
Realistically, they should have done Tiffany and Nia either at the Rumble or on this show, and they're not doing either. We know that.
And like Lyra Valkyria, why couldn't there be a championship match here?
And that's my
Chelsea
thing. Like
Green,
you
just
just
at Saturday Night's main event. Have her.
That was the
defend
rumor.
next one.
That was the rumor, and then they didn't do that. I don't know.
It's very weird to me, and I get it. Maybe it was just Maybe it was like you said, oh, this is the first year we just brought him back, so the schedule is going to be a little wonky until we kind of figure out where we want to do these. Because I do think they can create windows where I think they should be in between your big 4 pay-per-views. One of them should be in between Survivor Series and the Rumble. One should be between the Rumble and Mania. One should be between Mania and SummerSlam, and one should be between SummerSlam and Survivor Series.
Yeah.
It's not, there's your quarters. So do it however you want.
Yeah.
You can do one in February or early March, and then do one in early July, do one in September, and do one in December. There you go. There's your 4 quarters. You're good to go, right? Or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It just feels like it was so like, and it already feels like the first one they built to be this.
Oh, and you also have the women's tag team championships.
There are so many. And here's my thing:
well.
you had these 2 really good tournaments for these mid-card women's titles, and I thought they nailed the final matchups in both of them. I thought they nailed the champions in both of them. You just created these belts. There's all this excitement. And then it's Royal Rumble weekend, and neither one of these women are going to be defending these fucking titles, it seems like. And that does not make sense to me.
Honestly, I feel like their bigger issue, that is odd, but I'm more concerned that they're not going to make Mania. I think Chelsea Green could make Mania. I'm worried about Lyra. Unless Lyra faces Becky, I feel
which
like
I think is a possibility.
I fucking hope so. I'd rather see Lyra and Becky over Becky and Rhea again, which isn't bad, but like, what's the
we
point
already
of doing
saw it.
it?
Yeah, we
Like,
saw it
especially if
last year.
Becky beats Rhea. Like, I don't know, who gives a shit? I don't need to see that. So I think Lyra and Becky make sense. Chelsea, I could see being in a multi-women, match for her title. They got to they have 2 nights of Mania at this point. There's no reason not to fucking put either of them on the show. We need more women's matches at Mania. I mean, ideally, I'd like to see a women's match that isn't for a championship. That has not happened I don't, if you go back in the 40 plus years of WrestleMania, not counting the bras and panties and crap and whatever, we have not had a women's match at Mania that was a singles match that was not for a title. That is absurd. Like, not counting the specialty crap. We're talking like actual matches. Like Bianca and Jade could be a Mania match. That doesn't need a belt, I don't think.
It should be, and it does not need a belt at all.
I don't know if they're doing that, because we don't know. There's so many question marks right now. I'm just a little worried, but we'll figure out what they do. We'll see.
Yeah. So again, here we're all in agreement that this is Rhea, right?
With the first Saturday main event, we all talked ourselves into all these coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and then we realized that everybody retained them.
My main concern,
all the way through.
Yeah, my main concern is I don't need Saturday night's main event being Battle of the Belts. I don't need it turning into WWE's version of Battle of the Belts.
Yeah.
And it feels like 2 events in, we are very quickly approaching.
Yeah.
That I do think that the one match, which we're going to talk about next, I feel like this is the only match that I even think there's a chance a title changes hand.
That's dope.
Is that true? Mance Warner just showed up in TNA. That's very good. Good for him.
That's cool.
He just lost the title to FE over
Yeah,
in,
that
the
TNA
GC
is
dub.
going live tonight because of the juggernaut that is Beards.
They are. They were like, you know what? We got to knock these beards. We got to
counter
program. Unbelievable. That's very good though. Good for Mance Warner.
That's cool.
Good for Mance Warner. That's dope. He's very good. He's very good.
Good for Steph DeLander to be back. She's
100%. 100%. This is the only man. Dustin, I do want to talk to Graham about Penta in general as well. I do want to talk about that. So that's a good comment, Dustin. I'll bring that back up. This is the only match where I feel like there could be a title change. And I don't even know if I'm going to pick that there is one, but I feel like there could be. The other 3, I'm like, nope, easy peasy. I know what's happening. But Braun Breaker is defending his Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. I still feel like Braun will win, and we run this back at Mania, and Sheamus gets the IC win for the Grand Slam at Mania. I think that's how this goes. But I do think if you were going to have a title actually change hands at some point in the Saturday night's main event, this is the match that it would be.
How many times has Sheamus fought Braun for the title?
Twice. This is the second. Already twice, or this is the second? Is this the third?
thing.
This is the third. Well, so there was a singles match on Raw before Survivor Series.
And then they had the triple threat.
So, yeah.
My only concern with that theory about Mania is that if he loses Saturday, Sheamus loses Saturday, they'll do the, well, if you challenge me at Mania, this is your last opportunity, and then he's winning, and it kind of takes you go. And you know, even though if he's in the moment, we know he's going to win, but when they put that stipulation on it, you go, oh shit. Well, That kind of takes the fun out of it. So I'd be okay with him winning here on Saturday and doing it here and then defending it at Mania. I think would be cool to give him a proper IC title championship entrance at Mania. I think would be even dope to kind of say, hey, thank you for everything you've done for 20 plus years.
A long time.
I'd
Who'd
be
have
down
thought?
with that.
Who would have thought? Sheamus, when you first saw Sheamus, for like forever ago,
Yeah.
who would have
On
thought?
ECW, by the way.
Yeah, who would have thought that this guy would be a no doubt, no brainer first ballot, like no question, and like
Crazy.
beloved. Like now he's like beloved. Like this guy is like adored and beloved.
I mean, there was a point where it looked like he almost left the company about a decade ago. Like that League of Nations stuff was fucking garbage. Like literally, no one in that group even works there. Barrett does, but he came back. He left. That was so bad that he left the company. Rusev got fired. Del Rio got fired. He was a piece of shit anyway.
It was like a really cool concept of like
it
these
was.
guys were good,
Yeah.
but the way that they booked
The execution was
just
awful.
Yeah.
I thought
It
Sheamus
so
was
bad.
gone. I thought he was gone from the company. The bar really revitalized him, and then people are like, you know what? Actually, he's pretty fucking good. Actually, we've been
He's
sleeping on this dude for a long
reliable.
time.
He stayed relatively healthy for most of his career too. I know.
Yeah.
The last few
Like he
years
had the
he's
bad
some
neck
stuff.
thing, which we didn't see him for a little bit after the
About a-
bar.
yeah,
like
like
he
a
was,
year.
you know,
Yeah.
but relatively, he stayed. Yeah, June 2025 marks 16 years since his ECW debut. 16.
ECW, baby. Remember
Crazy.
that?
16 years
I'd
for
like to do
Sheamus.
a deep dive on the WWE ECW run.
Oh my! Listen, I didn't watch a lot of it because I'm like a hardcore. I grew up as like a hardcore, like original ECW kid. I was 12 or 13 when that shit started. I stayed up till 1 o'clock. It was on the Spanish channel where I lived in Massachusetts. It was on Telemundo Friday nights at 1 a.m. and I would stay up as late as I could I was and when I heard WWE was doing it, I was like, they're gonna fucking ruin it. I'm not even watching it. I'm not even watching it. I guess it was cool for a little bit, and then it kind of took it. Was it bad from the jump? I've heard people tell me it was all right.
Fucking zombie on the first
The
episode.
zombie was the
well,
first.
all right.
The Sandman comes out, and that's cool. And you're like,
Yeah,
all
of
right,
course.
Sandman is dope. And then he's like, who's my first opponent gonna be? And it's this zombie that he just destroys in the most comedic WWE way. And you're just like, oh no.
Is Big Show as ECW champion cool or no?
Yeah, right.
Was he the first new
He was the
iteration of the
second.
the second?
Rob Van Dam was, and
Oh, that
then he
makes
got
sense. That makes
suspended,
sense.
so they had to
Right,
give
yeah.
it to Big Show.
Fair.
Maybe the least cool version of Matt Hardy won it as well.
No, I like Matt. That's not fair.
No,
That was
the
a nice
least
little
cool
contest.
version of Matt. I didn't like that version. of
Yeah,
Matt
that's
Hardy.
true. Christian
Yeah.
had a good run there. Christian had a good
Yeah,
run.
Punk was there, right? Early Punk was there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
respect ECW, okay?
Yeah, early
WWE,
Punk was
ECW.
there. Yeah, you
Punk,
just
Miz,
said Christian. Was Kennedy? Did Kennedy start there?
Kennedy, yeah.
No, Kennedy was never
I
on
think
ECW.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby
was
Lashley was the
there.
ECW champion. I know
Yeah,
that for a fact.
Bobby
Yeah.
was the ECW
Yeah.
champion.
The
lot
last
of
one
people-
was Ezekiel Jackson, right? Was he the last ECW champion?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Wow, what a trivia question
What a
for
time,
the ages.
yeah.
If I ever have to do trivia, I'm throwing that in there
We got
every so often.
Ezekiel Jackson.
We have a
Um,
trivia show on this very network.
We
that you
do.
could
That's a
throw
good
that
one.
in
Yeah, I
and
feel
see
like
if
that would be
anybody was
easy.
right.
I feel like that would be an easy question for the level of questions that we usually get on Quizplex. I feel like
So you gotta-
that
you
would
gotta
be
throw some
one of the
easy ones in
easier
there.
ones. But so what do we think, guys? Do we think Braun retains here, or do we think that Sheamus actually could do it on
I think
Saturday?
Sheamus will lose. I think Braun Breaker, they should really, if they want to differ this from the last installment where we thought there's no way they'll do three successful championship defenses. And then they fucking did. We had a new champion, but we had to because it was the finish of that tournament. They played it safe the entire night. It was a very predictable show. It was a fun show. I was at that show. It was a good show. I liked it. But it was not like an eventful show, really. All things considered. The best part about the show actually took place after the show was fucking over. So hopefully this week is a little bit different. I think this could change hands. I agree with you that this is the most likely to change hands. I still think they play it safe and keep the belt on Braun Breaker. And honestly, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Not even devil's advocate. I'm just gonna be negative. I think this is it for Sheamus for right now. I don't think they're. I think that. I don't think they're going to drag it on until Mania because Mania's in 3 months. They've already had them feuding on and off for 2 months now. I would listen. I want nothing more than for Sheamus to get his moment as champion, like winning the belt at Mania. That is a WrestleMania moment if we've ever seen one.
For sure.
I just don't think they're going to wait until if they're going to do it there, they wouldn't be doing it here. is what I
And
think. I don't know who
That's
Braun
fair.
Breaker faces instead, but
Yeah, and
I don't know.
kind of just keep going on beating Braun Breaker and kind of like, I don't want to say burying Braun Breaker, but beating the young upstart guy just to fulfill. Maybe the guy that beats Braun is the guy that Sheamus beats when we move Braun
Maybe.
up to the world. I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, you're right. They might be playing it safe here on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we got Fernando in the chat saying that he thinks it should be. You mentioned this. He thinks it should be Braun and Gunther at Mania.
Yeah.
Graham, you mentioned that a little earlier. So
Mhm.
I think again, I'm probably still picking that Braun retains.
Wouldn't that
Here.
be can we
But
talk
I
about
feel-
that for a second? That's an interesting thing. Braun
Braun
and
Bre-
Gunther at Mania, considering all of the just next level top of the card people you
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
at your disposal for Gunther, says an awful lot about Braun.
I mean,
In a good
they had
way.
They had
He's
that
had a
stare
great
down.
run.
That yeah.
Well,
they
I
did
know,
stare
but I'm
down
saying
that
like
Graham
if
talk.
they
Yeah.
went with Braun and Gunther at Mania opposed to Drew and Gunther or Seth and Gunther or Punk and Gunther, or you could go down the list,
Yeah.
right? Cena and Gunther. That
Mhm.
just shows how much that they have invested in
Logan
Braun
Paul
Breaker.
and Gunther has been
Yeah, exactly.
rumored.
Yeah, exactly. Like
God
that's
forbid.
a
Guys, what about Goldberg, bro?
Oh, Goldberg's
Why
another
would
one.
you do that? Don't do that.
I
You
saw that
yell at
rumor
me
and
for doing
I
that.
nearly threw up. In
Say
my
his
mouth.
name
I
and he
nearly threw
appears.
up in my mouth.
You did, yeah. Ryback and Gunther. At
I have listen for the record. I have no problem with
Yes, you do.
Goldberg's last match being against Gunther because they did that segment with Bret. I got no problem with that. I have a problem if that is Gunther's WrestleMania match. I have a
Especially if
problem with that.
What's worse though, if it's for the world title or not for the title? Because Goldberg ain't fucking winning it, God forbid, in 2025.
If it does happen at WrestleMania, as much as I love Gunther, I don't want the title. I don't want it needs to be off of Gunther.
I agree, but it's just like
Unless
I agree.
he beats him and just retains the title, which he should.
No, he
'cause Gunther
should,
ain't-
but it's like obviously
Gold-
Gunther should fucking beat him, obviously. But
Yeah.
it's like
But I also don't
I
think
just feel like
Goldberg's
it's a
going to
waste
want to
of
lose.
Gunther
his
and
last
me. No,
match.
yeah, he's a fucking baby. I don't
That's
know.
what I'm
He's-
saying. Like you go out on your back, not in Goldberg's
Will he
words, baby.
show up? in
He
the
ain't going
Rumble?
out in his
Is
back.
that a
He ain't going out in
possibility?
his back. What?
It's ridiculous.
Is he going to show up at the Rumble? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, the rumor
Yeah,
now is
why-
that he's not scheduled for Raw. He was supposed to be on Raw. Someone Meltzer said. Now Meltzer saying we're not sure. Like it's fucking Meltzer, obviously. Take it with a grain
Yeah.
of salt, but
Yeah.
because they're in Atlanta on Monday, so he could be there. I think there's a decent chance we can get Goldberg and Gunther at Mania. I honestly would be more. I feel like what
Do it
would
at the
make more
Chamber.
sense. Yeah, the Chamber makes perfect sense. I think it would
Yes.
make more sense. I mean, first of all, he did say I'll have my final match in 2025. He didn't say I'll have my one more match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to see more than one Goldberg match. But I feel like this is weird to say. I feel like Goldberg is honestly a demotion for Gunther at Mania.
Yes.
He should be doing something bigger. But it
100%.
would be worthy of Braun Breaker, though. I feel like Breaker, that would be a worthy opponent. Breaker can go in there and destroy him. IC title or not, preferably not. Goldberg's not fucking winning the IC title. But I'd rather see that match. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Can't that stare down that happened at Bad Blood just be that? Like,
No.
why do we have? Why do
No.
we have to like?
We
make
gotta do it.
Yeah.
Why? Let's
I
just,
just don't-
leave it there. Just leave it in 2024. It is
Because Gunther
2025.
made fun
We
of
listen
Goldberg's
and we
wrestling.
Do not
Yeah.
judge.
That's not how wrestling works. They got to
Yes,
follow up
you
on
got
it.
you got to always pay it off.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand. You don't always have to always pay everything.
Well, it depends.
off. We still don't know who hit Kevin Owens in the face with that pie.
That's still
True.
they're going to pay that off tomorrow. That's
They
the way
will.
the contract's
That's
gonna-
going to come out.
Tomorrow.
It was
That's
Cody
gonna
Rhodes.
come out.
Yeah.
If they pay that off tomorrow, Graham, when we see each other in Indy, I will just hand you my blank check.
Well, then
Whatever
you'll know I'm working for the company. So there you
Yeah,
go.
you'd be like, we can't have
However,
Graham on
whatever
anymore.
you
He
need,
knows. He
I've
knows
got
things.
you covered.
He's on the inside.
Yeah.
He's
Buy
on
you
the
a beer.
inside.
I'll give you the smart money and all the bets.
Yeah. A rematch of Sammy and Gunther, but for the world title. They kind of did that already, but I mean that would be okay. Their match at Mania last year was awesome. I'm trying to think.
Sammy's busy, and I wanted to say this. We didn't
Yes,
talk
yeah.
about it. To all of you internet dweebs that are like they're going back to the KO Sammy well, it's a great fucking
Yeah,
well.
that's
to
a
go
well
back
they can go back to as
Mhm.
fucking often
Go
as they
back
want.
to that well
If you
all the time.
if you're complaining, if we get a Mania match where it, and I think this is going to, we're getting them at Mania. I think it's
I
one-on-one,
think so.
them at Mania.
Oh,
And I have a theory
give
about
it
what's going
to
to happen
me.
at the Rumble. We'll talk about it after we talk about the main event here on Saturday night.
give
But
it to me.
how is anybody complaining
I'm
about
just saying. They're
How
going
is
back to that
anybody
well?
complaining about that?
Shut up. That
Mhm.
well
it? Every
is so
match
good.
they have is top tier. They haven't wrestled one-on-one in a few years at this point.
Yeah.
What are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? Anyway, before we get there,
That's
the main event
That's what they
on
do.
Saturday night's main event is for the World Heavyweight Championship. It does involve that man, Gunther, that we're talking about. And he is challenging. This feels like the perfect opponent for him in this current time. He's facing a guy who, you know, we talk about Sheamus. I'm like, who would have thought? Who would have thought that Jey Uso would be this over?
Mm-hmm.
It is unbelievable how over this guy is. He's more, at least from an entry, like he's more over than like I feel like he gets more of a response than Cody
Is he?
or equal.
Yeah, definitely
At
equal
this
at
point.
least, yeah.
This is that's crazy. I never would have
I said
thought.
it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I posted about like, think about Jey Uso as he came into the company as a true tag team like specialist.
They're
that
leaning
hit
into
the
it.
Usos.
Yeah.
That was like his trajectory, and he has somehow busted
Brother.
the ceiling. When's the last time that's ever happened?
Honestly,
we've seen Shawn Michaels, the Rockers thing, and
They knew they had something.
This
This
was like
this is
I've
by
never
surprise.
Seen anybody? He's
Yeah.
smoking blunts with Travis Scott on the Rock.
seriously.
You know what I mean? The dude is insanely
He's
over.
just
And the
so
worst part about
over,
it
man.
is he's so over that they know that it doesn't matter if he wins or loses.
Yep.
And he takes L's in these spots.
A
all
lot
the
of L's.
time.
Yeah.
And it bums me out.
Yeah.
He is, I mean, people do not like this comparison. I've seen people on Twitter say this is not a good comparison. It's not the same thing. I think it very much is. He is like what Jeff Hardy was to WWE back in like 08, late 07, early 09. I'm not saying he is Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy screams more main eventer to me, but like a guy that started in a tag team. The Usos were a tag team for a lot longer than the Hardys were. I mean, the Hardys were a team for a couple of years. And Jeff had a few IC title runs before winning the world title. Jey Uso had one IC title run for a month, not even.
Yeah, not great.
Barely. But, you know, the reaction, it's just he comes out and it's a certain type of aura when Jey Uso hits the ring. It's just like, it's special. Like he connects with kids, especially, and just that casual fan without knowing a single thing about the guy. And he's also good. It's not like he's a bad wrestler.
Oh,
He's not
yeah,
the
of course.
best guy on the roster. He's good enough, and his promos have improved. When he's serious, he's great. He sells a fuck ton of merch.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to win the world title at some point.
At some point, right?
My kid walks around just yelling "yeet"
Yeah.
all the
Dude,
time.
it's unbelievable. Like
He got it over.
He's so over
Mhm.
that for the last 2 weeks when he's been cutting promos, he's like telling the crowd to shut up, and
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Like the crowd is like, "Oh shit! All right, everyone, be
Yeah.
quiet." Jay's talking. Like, do you know how over you have to be
Yeah.
to tell the crowd to?
It's
And they're
special.
like, "Oh, all right, yeah, he's talking. Let's be quiet." Like that is crazy.
But is he gonna win?
No,
Is he gonna beat Gunther?
You know, you said JPJ earlier that the Sheamus Breaker match was the most
I would love if they
unpredictable
did
match
it.
on the
Though.
card.
I would
But
love.
honestly,
if they did it.
I feel the same way about this match, though. In my personal
Yeah.
opinion, the only reason why I say that though is because going into this match, they have said at least on 2 different occasions, Gunther's like, "Oh, I'm 2-0 against you. You can't beat me." Wrestling 101 makes me a little bit suspicious, which is maybe the point. Honestly, though, and I said this before we hit record, I would love the moment of J1. I feel like that'd be cool. The issue is he's not walking into WrestleMania with that belt. The timing is awful because we know he's not walking into Mania
He
with
could
that.
lose it in the chamber.
I was gonna
He
say, what if
could.
they do a chamber and Gunther wins it back in the chamber, or somebody else? You
That's
know,
fine, but I just feel like we just saw that with him as
With the
IC
IC
champion.
title,
Like he
it'd be
can't just hold
another
belt for a
just-
month.
yeah.
I would.
we gave
give
him this win again, and now he's not gonna lose. It's gonna be the Sasha Banks effect. She never
Exactly.
successfully defended the
Yeah.
title ever.
I
and
think
that hurt her
honestly,
credibility.
yeah. I mean, I know people would say, "Oh, maybe that's better than him losing again." I disagree. He could lose again, and like you said earlier, it's not going to matter. He's super over. I don't know what they do with him in Mania. I've seen people I saw someone say maybe him and Logan Paul. I like that idea actually.
Yeah,
I don't know
that'd
if
be
they would do
okay.
that, but
That'd be okay.
Is it possible to be too over?
kind of because
if
I
you're
mean, I
he's
know
not a
I'm
guy they're gonna put the
laughing
belt on
about
for
that,
a
but
year.
It's like, yeah, you can't.
I-
You can't go
I-
Roman
I-
Reigns level title
Yeah.
reign. But
Yeah,
I
he's
think what
not.
you said,
you
Pluggo,
can't not
is-
acknowledge it. You have to
Yeah,
give
I
him
don't-
something.
I don't know
Mhm.
if there's a thing as such as being too over, but I think you can get over to the point where you just said he's kind of been pigeonholed now because he is so over, and they know he's over, that he can go for all these big matches, and he's over enough to be the guy the crowd really wants to win, but
Mhm.
he's also over enough that even after he loses, the crowd still is like, "It's okay, Jay.
Yeah.
We love you. Like next
Right.
time."
yeah.
And that could be that's a
But
detriment
how long-
sometimes.
But how
It
long
is.
does that last? Like, how long can you sustain that?
I mean, It's gone on for a year and a half, to be fair.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, it's
started
been
with
a
that
while.
Roman loss. He lost.
Yeah.
I mean, he did win the IC title for a month, but aside from that, though, he beat Jimmy at WrestleMania, one of the most mediocre Mania matches I've seen in years.
Yeah,
But beyond those matches, he lost to Seth Rollins on Raw when he got a world title opportunity. He lost Money in the Bank. He lost the Royal Rumble. He lost all these other matches that he's had. King of the Ring he lost last year. Like, lost to Gunther for the IC title a year ago. He's lost a lot of matches. So at some point, he needs to win the big one. I don't think he needs to have a 6-month run. I don't think he's capable of having a 6-month run and having it be like deep on any level. Like, you could say what you will about Cody, but like, he's more of a main eventer than fucking Jey Uso is.
And
you got to pay it off at some point. I don't know. I just don't think it's here.
out of left field, you could always, if you wanted to, do the family bloodline stuff that cost him the title. If you,
I was literally just going to say this. I was going to say,
just go back to that. Well, if you're like, we got to get it off of Jay, have Jimmy screw him because he's too overshadowed.
No, do not say it's Jimmy. Absolutely,
not even that.
Jimmy.
I was going to say, like, so what if we do get the upset on Saturday, right? We get the upset. Jay pulls it off. Roman's on Raw on Monday. He's advertised for Raw on Monday because I think they're doing some 2K25 stuff, and I think he's going to be the cover guy.
Yeah,
but he's there. What if Jay pulls off this upset? They have the big celebration on Monday, and then Roman, who still has not changed who he is at all,
God, I should have
still a dick. What if Roman comes out and goes, "Hey, congratulations! Look at the Ulafala. I'm that guy. You and me at the Chamber," and Roman wins it from Jay at the Chamber.
That would be.
And then
awful.
you get Roman going into Mania as the champion. And then you can
But
do the
that's where we're
CM
at
Punk
with Jay.
main event thing with Paul Heyman and the favor because the rumored match is Punk and Roman.
Roman going 4-0 on Jay would probably be enough to make me like not watch the product. That's not true.
I don't disagree, but is that a crazy scenario?
Not really. I mean, it's not crazy. I mean, you could also set that up with Roman winning the Rumble, which I don't want to see.
Agreed.
Well, I mean,
I'm not against Roman winning the Rumble, but like, I agree.
I think more likely. Well, you know, what's shocking though, like I said, I want to see that. What's funny about that? He hasn't won the Rumble in a decade. That Rumble win that he had was a decade ago.
Yeah,
like, first of all, where does the time go?
The title, right? Where they
That's
were like,
crazy.
If he had
When the Rock lifted
no,
the one that the Rock lifted his hand up and did the side eye, like what the hell?
I
He
thought I
in
was
Philly.
thinking
It was
about
in
the
Philly.
one where they put the title on the line that one year.
Oh no,
walked
Triple
in
H
as
won that one.
champion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he walked in as
Okay,
champ, but
okay,
Triple H
okay.
won.
Yeah, that was the
Okay,
next year.
okay,
Yeah.
The next year, because Rey Mysterio, poor guy, was number 30 and got booed out of the fucking building.
That was his last
Daniel
year.
Bryan. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you're in a weird spot with Jay. Like if you got to put a title on him, but he doesn't need to be long, and there's not a great way to get it on. I don't know, but I think at the end of the day, I think Gunther's gonna win. Just do.
I think Jay winning and then the Chamber, him losing in the Chamber, like you guys said. I don't really want to see that because I feel like it's just a waste of a run. But you know, it's something, I guess.
And to me, right, I feel like the Chamber gives Jay an extra excuse. Kinda, because there's a lot of guys, and it's elimination, so like he's gonna have to get pinned if he's losing in that match.
He's gonna get pinned again.
So, but like at least like something could happen where, like there's more things you could book around Jay losing in a match like the Chamber than just a one-on-one match. You know what I mean? And you know we got Dustin. Oh, Scott, he still is.
He's an asshole, dude.
He's never changed.
No, he never once apologized. Everything you're saying on TV is true.
Yes, has still not apologized for a damn thing.
I still don't understand why him winning the Ulafala mattered. Like I haven't seen.
Well, he won the Ulafala, and I happen to think, and Drew, my co-host on Firmly WWE, Drew leans into this the last couple of weeks. He said, "I think the Ulafala is just going to further Roman going back to the head of the table asshole character even more because
Drew McIntyre said he's playing chess. Everybody's worried about all this other stuff
because the Ulafala represents power and like if you look at the Roman was the most evil guy when he had it, and then Solo turned into one of the most evil guys when he had it, and now Roman has it again. What makes you think that all of a sudden Roman is going to be this? He's been a bad guy the whole time.
Yeah.
Just the crowd cheers him now, and he's going against other bad guys.
Yeah.
What's up, Tom?
He hasn't changed.
Welcome in,
yeah.
buddy.
And Tom, what's going on? And Fernando's right. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Drew McIntyre have all been 1,000% correct about everything they've said about Roman. They have not. They have
Take it
not
one
lied.
step further. Every top person in the company right now has not lied about anything. They're all
Nope.
Nope.
It's
Nope.
awesome. It's the
Yeah.
best thing ever. Where I'm like, Drew, you're supposed to be the guy that we don't like in this scenario. You're not wrong though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actual
Roman-
logic. What a
Roman,
concept.
you're not
It's
wrong
crazy.
either. You haven't changed, but you're not wrong either.
No, he's an asshole.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love
And
it.
it's just one of those things. Like I would love if they were to pull the trigger and give us a shocking upset with Jay winning. Like that moment would be insane.
It'd be a
if
great
he won
moment
that
for like
title.
a Saturday Night's Main Event thing too, because it would send the message: anything can happen. Titles
Correct.
can change hands, and it's not
Yeah.
Battle of the Belts 2.0. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think that, do I think, an
In the
IC
history
title
of
change?
Battle of the Belts,
know?
have we've had like one title change.
legit. And there's been like fucking 14 of those things.
14 or 15 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe one title change. I can't remember. who it
Ridiculous.
was.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
also had Battle of the Belts where there was no titles defended.
Yes, correct. A lot of
It's
eliminator eliminator.
Yeah,
matches.
elimination matches. So what eliminator? Yeah. Dustin says this could be discussed forever, but he's looking for a simple yes or no. Do any of us see The Rock actually
doesn't
being
like our
involved in
long-winded
WrestleMania
answers.
this year? Do you think they're playing us, or do you think that
I
he's
don't
not
know.
involved? Because I don't even know what the card at Mania. It feels like
The Rock.
there are two
said
cards at
on
WrestleMania:
Mhm.
one if The
NXT,
Rock is there, and one if he's not.
Seriously.
That's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
You
Mhm.
have to. Do you buy into everything The Rock says? Do you when he says?
That's
on
what I'm
NXT,
asking. Are they playing
he's
us?
20. He's 20 steps ahead of us. Is what.
Exactly.
I just don't understand if that is I said this one like the Raw Netflix thing happened a couple of weeks ago, but like if he is playing us, what is the notion that he was best friends? He was kissing Cody's ass because he wants us to think he's friends with him, dude. That's so fucking unnecessary. Why do that? Why
Yeah.
not just build off of the heat they already had a year ago? That is completely gone at this point. I don't understand why make this more convoluted than it needs to be. Just
Mhm.
come out, face Cody for the belt, and get it over with. Why do we need to have this go on until 2030? Just move the fuck on already. It's
Well, they
ridiculous.
did it because they were glad handing at the debut episode. They were
Glad-
we
yeah.
we don't want The Rock, the biggest face in wrestling, to like hate our champion, so that people might hate Cody because they
Yeah,
love The Rock.
yeah.
Which I get, and like I was like, okay, because like I said, that debut was for people that may be
Yes.
coming back in. But
Mhm.
then the next night when he's like, well, I'm 20 steps ahead of you. Well, let us know what step 1 or 2 of that is, so that
That's
we
the
can
thing.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the funny thing. He's
20
like, I'm
steps
gonna,
ahead of it, and then you're going to show up at Mania and go, "This was the plan all along."
no, it was not. That dude. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He
Okay,
goes.
get it,
He
Graham.
says to
Go,
us,
Graham. Let's
it's
go,
fucking
baby.
ridiculous. He says to us, I'm gonna take you on a ride. Just enjoy the ride. All right, listen, I get it. But as I said at the time, what if that ride sucks? Okay, and the problem
Like that
is,
roller coaster that you didn't ride.
yes,
Spencer?
exactly. Thank you, Pluggo. Like that roller coaster. I mean, I wouldn't know if it sucked. We didn't go on it, but we're not going to
Yeah.
find out because we didn't go on it. Maybe
Yeah.
we could. Hey, listen, we're going to finish the story. Vegas Mania. We'll see. Maybe we can
Yeah.
finish the story. We'll see.
Yeah.
But listen. What if that ride sucks? And I know that ride could suck because where were we a year ago? They almost did Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. That ride would have been fucking terrible. That was not
Yeah.
the plan the entire time to do what they did. They pivoted. So why are you telling me, why should I trust anything of what they're giving us, or at least where The Rock is concerned, if it's probably going to be garbage? Like, I don't like that idea that, oh yeah, you got to trust in the plan. Like, obviously let it play out. I get that with a lot of things. With this, after that bullshit they fed us last year, I do not fucking trust them one bit. I do not think The Rock will be involved. If he was, I feel like we would have known by now. He's just like, oh yeah, I'll show up. I'll do it when I want to. Like, no, fucking commit or not. We got to move on from this nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's one of the-
it rained over not just last year's Mania, but the Mania before that too.
Literally the
because-
last like 5 years. Honestly.
Yeah, they like, and then he's like, "Oh, couldn't make it work, couldn't make it
Mhm.
work." And then last year they had the nuts to tell us that and this was the plan all along. It's like, no, it wasn't.
Oh, dude, they
No, it wasn't.
literally made a documentary
It's like,
telling
this was
us
the
of
plan.
how noble of a person The Rock was, that he was a bigger man
Yeah.
to say, you know what? I see what's going on. We got to change this, man. Like, I'm sure he was just so kosher
He was the
about
solution.
losing a WrestleMania main event
Seriously.
one-on-one with, like, I'm sure he felt great about that. By the
He
way.
was the solution to a problem that he created. What? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That makes
It's like-
no
It
sense.
was crazy. It was crazy. And look at like the final boss stuff and that kind of stuff we got last year. I fucking
Great.
loved it. And I ate
Loved
it up
it.
and they pivoted excellently.
Yeah.
And they made it work. And WrestleMania last year was great. And it was mainly because of that. They did what they had to do in that pivot and they crushed it.
Mm-hmm. Don't
My
do it
thing-
again.
That's my thing. That's my thing. And it's like, for me, I understand they built the story with Rock and Cody, but Rock and Cody was never the match for me. It's Rock and Roman. That's the match. That's where this is building. Last year, just that was Cody's time. That was Cody's time, but out of it. That's Cody's time. The crowd let you know that that's not your time. That's Cody's time. If The Rock were more around now and was going for Roman right now, the crowd would be 1,000% behind Rock and Roman now.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania just last year.
That was the only year where it didn't make sense and they were going to do it.
They didn't fucking do it with Cody the year before when they should have fucking done it the year before.
They should have done it at 38. They should have done it at 39. They should have done it at 36, dude. Like before, I guess there was COVID, but like they could have done it at any point in the last decade since that aforementioned moment with Rock endorsing Roman to the Rumble 10 years ago. At that moment, we were all thinking, man, that's a great match to do at some point. But then it takes Rock a decade to wrestle again. And this is the same guy. And I love The Rock, but this is the same guy, by the way, that says, oh, I control the schedule. Well, if you control the schedule, then why the fuck wouldn't you come back for a single match? John Cena cleared his entire schedule for an entire calendar year to wrestle, God knows, in Poughkeepsie, New York, or some bumfuck nowhere, and whatever, in the United States. But The Rock is not, he can't even come back for one match. Can't commit for 2 days.
And we got Dr. Thanos walking to the chat, and Fernando saying The Rock isn't getting younger. That's the other problem. He's not getting any younger, so every year he does this, it gets harder and harder to envision it, but he still looms around things.
Yeah.
And
Rock and Roman now, look, dude, the match, if it happened a decade ago, probably wouldn't have been that good. If it happens now, and it should happen, I agree. It should happen. It probably won't even be that good. So why not just get it out of the way and move on? It's looming over the entire product, and it's so, like, the Bloodline shit will not go away until Rock gets this shit out of his system. And the Bloodline stuff ran its course a while ago. We have to move on from this.
How many pay-per-views have we got? Is this where The Rock comes back? And then he shows
a lot.
up?
Yeah.
A lot. He could win the Rumble. We didn't even talk about that. He could win the Rumble. I don't want to see that. But it could it would make sense, I guess. I mean, they could set up him and Cody and Mania. I don't even hate the idea of Rock and Cody.
Oh, I don't either.
It's fine. Like, okay, I get it. Rock shouldn't fucking win, obviously, but like, it's fine.
Do you trust him that he wouldn't put his power?
No,
in,
I don't.
Like, that's my thing.
I don't. No,
that's
I don't.
And again, I think all three of us, we love The Rock. How can you not love The Rock?
Rock's
You know what I
awesome.
mean? Like, we love the guy.
I
but like,
enjoyed him. I enjoy him on my
we
stream.
are.
Final Boss is great.
Yeah, we're 2.5 months away from your biggest event of the year.
Figure it
And
out.
whether you're playing us or not, and it's going to be a surprise, and we don't know. Fine, like I'm a wrestling fan, I'm used to that shit. But like, we should have more of an idea of whether this guy is going to be at fucking WrestleMania or not. We should have more of an idea.
This program last year, we've done this for 3 years now,
at least.
And every time we get around this time of year, like with the Sammy stuff, when it was Sammy and Roman, I was like, give it to Sam, but everybody's like, The Rock might be there. You know, The Rock might be the Rock's right. You're the.
I was a Cody guy.
I was like, it's Cody's guy.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But
and then Cody lost too.
But if you got Cody and The Rock, or you got Rock, and we do this thing where we're like, well, and then, but it's not our fault. I know everybody goes, just watch the product, stick to what's on TV, and go with that. But it's The Rock going on these shows and saying like, I'm gonna make an appearance. I you know what? I'm getting the itch. Blah blah blah. And he does these things where he keeps us going. Well, he might be there. And then we're sitting here just like, oh.
And then he comes back and he doesn't do anything. What was that Bad Blood appeence about? Nothing. Came back
just this.
That was it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's like
waste of time. You're wasting our time now. Just stop.
And then he comes back, and I get it. It's a debut of Raw on Netflix. That was not the final boss. That was Dwayne. That was the TKO Dwayne. And I guess, I looked into, because everybody was confused. Like you said, that promo where he's putting over Cody. First of all, they got Cody in the crowd like a chump. What the fuck is Cody doing in the crowd?
Just smiling at front.
Get him in the fucking
like he's like an NXT debut.
He's the face of your fucking company. What are you doing?
He's like a member of the ID program. The WWE.
Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
So they do that, right? And everyone's sitting there, including me. I was doing a watch along for it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
Weird.
And then they do the thing where they're toasting drinks in the back for social
why
media.
would
I'm
Cody want to accept that though?
And I'm just like, this guy has been, and even in that promo, the one character thing The Rock said was about Cody's mom. Tell Mama Rhodes I said hello. He's like, he's talking shit about your mom, like literally still. And you're like, yeah,
I'll the brakes off you for an entire year.
Stupid.
And then
exactly.
I heard that like they filmed something during the Moana 2 premiere that was supposed to squash the Cody Rock thing because WWE is pivoting away from that, but it never aired. And I'm just like,
So
what
we
the
don't.
fuck?
So we don't
Like,
pay things off. Is what you're
And
saying?
then the next night he shows up on NXT, which was cool. The stuff with him and Ethan Page, I liked a lot.
Yeah,
Good
that
for
was-
Ethan
yeah.
Page. I liked it. And
did
he was
say
much, and also Rock, the show on Netflix is the show that I think you can swear on, not the show that's on the CW.
The
He's-
CW has a hard out. My
Not
guy.
one swear, not one swear on that Netflix Raw debut. This guy shows up to the CW and he's dropping 5 F-bombs.
You
He
couldn't
on
even
national
hear the
television.
promo. Literally
What
every other
is
word.
going on, dude?
Yeah.
But he's more of his character
Mhm.
on NXT, where he's telling the
Yeah.
crowd to show the Cody crybabies. The crowd,
Yeah.
sit back and enjoy the ride the Rock's taking you on. Shut your mouth. It's like, where was this last night?
This
What
man's an
is going on?
egomaniac.
You know,
Like,
I
just
don't know.
go-
It's
I
weird.
wish Black Adam was more successful so we wouldn't have to deal with this shit right now. That's what I wish.
Oh no.
That
Oh.
fucking movie.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right.
Oh,
So wait, final answers: Gunther or Jey Uso?
I'm
Final
going.
answer.
I'm playing it safe. I'm going. I'm thinking
I hate
WWE is
it.
playing
I
it safe.
hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
leaning.
bad
I'm leaning
timing.
Gunther too. I'm going to play it safe as well. I'm going to play it safe
When
as
is
well.
the chamber?
March 1st.
March 1st. It's the
Okay,
beginning
so
of
you got
March,
About a month. Okay.
and then they'll have about 7 weeks until Mania.
'Cause they
Yeah,
pushed
well, I know
Mania
that.
back
Which is a
this
long
year.
time.
Yeah.
Wh-
Okay.
Which, see, again, the first quarter of the year, there's 12 months in a year, would be January to March.
There's 12 months in a year. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So when you have a gap from March 1st
Mhm.
to April 20th, why the fuck isn't there a Saturday night's main event right in the middle of March?
They haven't
Like,
announced
why
it
are you
yet.
doing
Yeah.
it now, a week before the
Yeah.
Rumble, instead of 3 or
No,
4
okay,
weeks
let
before
me-
Mania
let
to
me-
build further
let
stories to
me-
Mania?
Yeah.
Let me just
Wouldn't
play
that make more-
devil's. Let me play
It would.
devil's advocate here. Maybe it's not up to them. Maybe it's up to NBC.
Oh, it
That
is.
is
Oh,
also
it,
true.
it definitely.
Maybe
100%.
NBC. What's April, March?
Because they
maybe
have
there's-
sports as well that
maybe
they
they've
show
got-
in their
yeah.
premiere things. Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
That is a
maybe they've
factor
got
that
something going
yes.
on that month.
I
But
wish.
it's
Yeah.
just-
I wish that was the
I-
case though.
I think you gotta look at the schedule moving forward that you're not running, because this feels like we were talking this same way 2 years ago
Mhm.
when we found out that All In was the week before All Out.
Yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck are they doing this for? Not that this is the equivalent to All
Yeah.
In.
To be
They
fair,
made that
the
their
first-
biggest
the
show
first
ever.
Time
Yeah.
the first
But-
time they did that, they actually pulled it off pretty well. The last
Wasn't bad.
couple, you were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
But like I remember all of us talking like that for months. Like,
Made
dude, they're
no
doing
sense,
2
yeah.
pay-per-views a week apart. Now, this is not a pay-per-view, but it's a special. They're doing 2 specials 7 days apart. Like, what? It's just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't like that.
no, there are a couple more things, obviously, about the Rumble and just stuff
Yeah,
I
if
want
you
to talk
if
about
you
as
like
well.
Having a normal life.
I know,
Wrestling right now
I
is not
know.
for you.
We had mentioned Alexa Bliss a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So there was rumor that she was ready to go. She had been posting on social media that she was in her original, I think, wrestling weight, and she was training and good to go. And everyone just assumed that sometime between, the Raw, Netflix, and Mania, that we would see Alexa Bliss come back. And then PW Insider dropped a report in the last day or so where they said that there's a contractual issue going on
Mm-hmm.
between Alexa Bliss and WWE, and she is currently not factored into any forthcoming plans. It said Bliss has been now this is from PW Insider. They are reputable to me. I know there's so many things out there nowadays, but PW Insider is a
They
name
are
that is
credible.
reputable.
Yeah.
So they're credible. So I'm going by them.
Mhm.
It says Bliss has been seeking a new contract while WWE expects Bliss to return under the terms of her older existing deal. The belief within the company was that Bliss would secretly come to the Raw on Netflix taping in San Jose, California, and at that point return regularly as a member of the Raw brand. At some
Is
point,
this
just
a way to cool her down? So we go, oh shoot, Royal
Yeah,
Rumble,
maybe.
Alexa Bliss,
Yeah.
yay.
it goes on to say, at some point just ahead of the San Jose Raw, representatives for Bliss contacted WWE and informed the company they wished to open discussions for a new contract ahead of her return. Bliss was seeking a brand new deal, obviously with more money and perks, but WWE wanted her to return under her existing deal, which had been extended due to her time away from
Mhm.
the company. When Bliss's side dug in about wanting the new deal, WWE instead played hardball back pulling plans for her return in San Jose and froze all of Bliss's creative plans in carbonite. This is a quote from PW Insider.
Yeah, they're big Star Wars fans over there.
Yeah. The two sides have remained at odds since that time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that kind of came out. I think it was either today or yesterday. It was within the last few days, that report. Do we think that this is a situation where everybody's talking that all these people are going to come back and all this stuff? And they are cooling her down to make the surprise kind of hit more? Or do we think that this is I don't see a reason why I would not believe this is a legitimate thing coming from PW Insider, and it would make sense. I understand both sides of that argument, I guess.
And Dan and I was about to say the same thing, as like, not to be that guy, because I love Alexa Bliss. She's one of my favorites, but it's stacked right now. It's kind of, I could see why WWE's like, do you need Alexa Bliss back?
Yeah, how much money is she asking for your type thing?
And that's the thing. What's the
number,
if it's true,
Yeah,
I think it's
true.
Are you
asking Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné numbers right now? 10 million?
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's true, though, because it looked like they were building to her return. If you even saw like the vignettes and the shit they were posting, like, oh, she's coming, the door is open, blah, blah, blah. We haven't seen that shit since. Yeah. Now, I think Sean had said, obviously from Fightful, he had said, I think one of the Wyatt Six members is currently her, I think. But I don't think that's a reason as to why they're not on the show, just because there's like 5 of them. I mean, if one of them's hurt, they could still be on the show. So I think they were bringing him back or bringing her back. And then this came up and they were like, oh, actually, we can't do this yet after all. So no, I think that's an actual thing. I mean, that's could they turn a shoe into a work by now fixing this issue and then bringing her back in time for the Rumble? Yeah. But to Pluggo's point, are they going to pay her what she is seeking? Honestly, I don't. Like, this could be it for her. Like, and it's not like she's going to say, I'm just going to go to AEW. She's not going to fucking wrestle. I think she's done. She would just go do something else. I mean, Alexa Bliss, I don't think she's going to show up in the Impact Zone. I don't think. I don't think they would even pay whatever she's looking for anyway. I think that would probably be it. I think she will be back, but I think this is legit. I don't know when. I think they were definitely planning on it. It is weird. And also, it's not a Rey Fenix situation either. I saw people making that comparison, like, oh, yeah, under contract, they're adding time. But yeah, they were going to actually use her, though. Phoenix, they weren't going to fucking – he's just sitting home doing nothing.
That's the same. And I think, yes, and I did see some of that discourse as well. And I was a better person this time, and I didn't go after some of these fucking idiots. But I was just kind of like, that's how I feel. It's like, that's different. This is a different scenario because, like you said, they were clearly factoring her into plans. They want her to be there. They want to use her. I think her return would be a bigger deal. I think she would be focused. And you're talking about opponents for Rhea. Alexa Bliss is a good opponent for Rhea. Multi-time former world champion, a fresh match. Like, people forget, like, the 4 Horsemen were the pillars of that. Alexa Bliss was the first woman to win both the SmackDown and Raw heavyweight titles ever in the history of the company. Like, she came up and she was clearly the number 5. Like, she was involved in the top of that as well.
Yeah, so for years. Yeah.
Yes, she was booked very, very well to be a superstar with those 4. Like, I agree with Fernando in the chat who says that her creative before she left was garbage. It was.
I agree, yeah.
It fully was. So I don't blame her for maybe wanting a little bit more, hey, we got to talk this through because my experience ending here. And it's a different regime and it's different now. I think more faith is in the regime now.
She's a new mom. I don't know if she wants to be on the road.
Exactly. And that's true. Yeah, she might not want to do this full time.
Maybe she's looking something Becky Lynch style, Becky Lynch style. Yeah. With some more days off and stuff, and she's just trying to get that again without knowing the particulars of what she's asking for. Versus, like, if we're talking $500,000 here,
whatever.
Obviously, go WWE, just sign her. It's worth it. Yeah. But if it's like she's asking for millions upon millions of dollars,
it depends what it is. I mean, I doubt she was making that money before.
I'm pro pay every wrestler under the sun if they want, but obviously in the business sense you can't do that.
Yeah, if I'm WWE, I make the deal. I mean, she's very popular. Yeah, she has her fans. She sells a lot of merchandise, dude. I mean, they have a lot of women under contract and that are better than her, but she is a star, and I feel like she's worth it. I know you could make the same argument for Mercedes Moné, and then she ended up they didn't make the deal there, and then she went to AEW instead. But Alexa Bliss is different because. Would Tony Khan really make her a deal to come in? Probably not. And I don't think she would even want to go there anyway.
Yeah.
So if it's this or nothing, I'd like to see Alexa Bliss back for at least a final run before.
Yeah,
she
like do a final,
calls it a
yeah,
day.
one last
or
run
whatever.
or something, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think, I do think it's a shame because I would assume that she was probably going to debut. Well, they said San Jose there,
Yeah.
but imminently now,
Maybe
like
that's
she
why
would either
Bailey's
be
getting all
already
these
here or
spots.
Rumble. Yeah, so it's kind of like it's unfortunate, but
They're
I
like,
do think at the end of the
"Shoot,
day,
Charlotte's not ready, Becky's not ready.
Well, that's
Alexa's got
honestly,
contract. Bailey, we need you to just go crazy."
seriously, that's probably why they moved the Wyatt Six to SmackDown, because it's so random that they moved them to SmackDown without finishing that final Testament feud, and that would explain it. They're like, all right, Alexa Bliss ain't coming back. We can just ship you guys. Like this, she ain't
Yeah.
coming back anytime soon. We'll just get rid of you guys and put you on SmackDown.
Do
We haven't
I
seen him
even
since.
want her to come back in the Wyatt Six fold? I don't know. I don't know what
I want her to be the goddess, but I mean, the Wyatt Six
Yeah.
stuff does make sense because the last time we saw her, she was getting stalked by Uncle Howdy. I mean, the garbage was, I mean, the creative was kind of garbage, like we talked about, but I mean, it would make sense, at least if only initially.
Yeah, I agree. Well, another person that's been rumored, we saw her in the crowd on the Netflix debut, and the rumors have come up over the last couple days that a lot of people in the back of WWE are pushing and petitioning for Nikki Bella to return to WWE, and there seems to be interest on her end as well. I think that would get a good pop for a return at the Rumble if we heard Nikki Bella. Yeah, I think the Bella Twins get a lot of hate that they do not deserve. They carried the women's division. We can argue the booking at the time, the caliber of the strength of the roster. I don't care. They were over. They were clearly over. And Nikki, more than Brie, but Nikki actually turned into a pretty damn good wrestler, I would say. Towards the end of her run there, she was having good matches before the neck gave out on her.
Yep.
I don't know, dude. Again, it's another big name you can throw on a Raw that needs big names if it's on Raw. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
She's not coming back full time.
I was
No,
gonna say, yeah, she would
Rumble
probably be a
appearance would be
part-time
nice,
thing.
though.
Yeah,
It's
that's
one of those
probably
things,
done,
but
or at
has
least
been
one
rumored.
match. Yeah,
Go
it's
on.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, do I want to see her back? I really don't care. Like we've had the final Bella run, I feel like at least 3 or 4 different times in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But to your point though, JPJ, I feel like, she had her last run was very good.
Mhm.
On SmackDown when she was working with Natalia, she was working with Carmella, she was working with Maurice, that whole thing. She got proposed to by John Cena. That obviously we know what happened there. But that whole last run was actually
We need
really
that
well done.
paid off. We need
Yeah.
that really paid off.
And then she came back and did she headlined the only
Evolution.
women's event. Yeah, she headlined that one women's pay-per-view, Evolution, with Ronda, and it was a fine match and it was a fine feud. And that kind of felt like it felt like if they were ever to come back after that, it would have been for a tag title run. That never happened. Her neck was really bad. And then she had brain issues or some shit. I don't know. So I'm kind of surprised she's coming back at all. But listen, for a Rumble return, which we've also already seen a few different times over the years, fine. If she were to come back for one more run, listen, to put someone over, whether it be, I don't know if it's Bailey or I don't even know, but that's fine. She doesn't need to be back in the fold full time. They don't need her. But listen, she has her fans. She would get a reaction. She's established, like you guys were talking about. She's had a lot of success. One of the best divas from that era that ended up getting better as well.
Yeah.
When a lot of women did not improve. And I mean, I get it. I could see why she'd come back. I wouldn't lose my shit if she came back in the Rumble. I might be sitting in my hands if we're in the press box and her music hits.
I
but
will lose my shit for you, Graham.
Oh, thank you, Pluggo.
Well,
I appreciate it.
I got you.
I will ask you this, and I'm
You're
sure
my surrogate.
I'm sure when we're in person next week, we'll discuss it more. I think one person that we would all lose our shit on is if AJ Lee were to return.
I love
Rumble.
that you're so bold to think that Graham's going to talk to us after tonight.
Why wouldn't he? He might not talk to you because you went at his throat to start
I'm
the show.
gonna
I
big
didn't do
league.
shit.
Is that what you're saying?
I've been chilling.
Yeah.
So be
Like most
"These
occasions,
guys,
I
these
don't start.
boys?"
I don't start the drama on this show. Pluggo. You're the one. I'm here to clean it up sometimes, but you're the one that you're the one. But obviously,
I need them to stop teasing the AJ.
CM
Lee
Punk's
return
been
thing
back
and
for a
just
little
do it.
over,
It's
for a
becoming
little
the
over a
CM Punk
year now.
return.
I think there could, again, obviously, I feel like Punk is going a different route than Seth, but I think there could be some major money in a one-off mixed tag with CM Punk and AJ versus Seth and Becky. I think that is a huge, gigantic match you could do if they were all in on it. Indianapolis isn't terribly far from Chicago.
I love the
You know, it's-
idea of Becky coming back and not necessarily aligning with Seth, but getting into a moment with CM Punk where she goes, "Keep my name out your mouth," kind of deal. Like,
CM
I'm
Punk
the
did
man.
mention her name a
He
couple
did.
weeks
Yeah,
ago.
and then
You know,
then you could do something there, but like, yeah, that would be cool.
Yep. I right now I'm probably gonna say I don't think we see
No, I don't
AJ Lee
think
in the
so.
Rumble next year. But I mean, that's becoming one of those things where I feel like, especially since Punk came back last year's Rumble, you heard about it. This year, it's a
Yeah.
little. That's going to be something that builds and builds and builds every year. We don't see it to where it's like, when the hell is she? Even if it is just for the Rumble,
Yeah.
when am I hearing? Let's light
Let's light
it
it
up.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
let's go, dude. Like, when
Dude,
am I
another-
hearing it? When do I get to scream
Yeah.
and jump out of my seat like everybody else? And like, when's that happening? When's
That
that
is
happening?
the fact that she's
Somebody's
been
got to
gone.
watch. Somebody's got to watch Larry.
That's true. Someone's got to. Yeah. Someone's got to dog sit Larry.
I feel like
Listen,
that is one of, if not the biggest return they have left.
it is for the women. It definitely
Without
is.
question.
It's the holy
Without
grail of
question.
women's returns for sure at this point.
Yeah.
She's been gone for a decade. I mean, that's wild. A decade. And she'd
Yeah.
still get a massive reaction. She gets shout outs by, Punk all the time on TV.
Mhm.
So
Well, she's loyal because the reason she's been gone for a decade is because she's married.
It's because her man was
who
gone
was
for a
also
long time.
gone for a
Yeah,
decade.
I think that was clearly part of it.
yeah, it
It
was
would have
definitely
been
part of it.
really awkward for her to return to WWE while he was, chasing towns talking shit.
Yeah.
And
That would
then
have been awkward. But now that they're back and they're in good standing, maybe he's working.
Mhm.
I
I mean, she stays in good shape too.
Yeah.
I know
and
she
like
po-
this year in 2025, she's doing a few like cons and like wrestling signing appearances, which she's
Mm.
never done.
No.
And
She
all of a sudden in
announced for the Indy
2025,
one? 'Cause
she's
that
doing
would
the
be
one in
telling.
Indy.
Yeah. Oh, is
So
she?
like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't
believe
know
so.
that.
Or
That's cool.
it might be one that's later on this year.
Oh, okay,
We're
okay.
not talking next week.
No, I was
I'm
talking. Yeah, I was.
next week. There's one.
Oh,
next
I don't know
week.
about that, but she's doing one. She's doing a couple. She's been signed up for a
I'm
couple
talking
like
about
later
next
this
week.
year. If she was in Indy next week, then I'm like, well, she's fucking gonna be. Why the fuck are you here? I know
Yeah.
your husband's
Do
here.
we
He's
need
wrestling,
to,
but why are you
go
here?
to WrestleCon and ask everybody if they're going to be?
Wrestle,
Are you in the
WrestleCon
Rumble?
is actually free for attendance.
It
It's
is.
actually free,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
That's
So
cool. Yeah.
I assume that we will spend some time there. I would guess.
Party Boys are there that week. There's a lot of people that are there
Yeah.
that could be in the Rumble. So. who
Oh
knows?
yeah. Oh yeah. Dustin saying a Victoria appearance. That would
That'd
be
be
good.
cool.
They showed her on SmackDown
They did.
recently. That would be cool. I do think she should get into the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
soon,
Oh,
if not this year.
Overdue. Yeah.
Well
Who
overdue.
was I talking to that was like Eve Torres? Would be a good
I literally
it might
said
have been
that.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
saying
good.
that. Well, not what you didn't say it
I-
to me, but I was
yeah.
saying it to someone
Somebody
earlier.
said it. Yeah. that
Where are
would be
those?
good.
Where's Caitlyn? Like, where are
She
those?
was another one.
Like, where are those? You know what I mean? Like the ones
Yeah.
that
They
were
did that thing where she showed out in the Mae Young Classic.
Yes,
and then
yes,
we
I was
never
talking to
heard
someone
from
on
her
Twitter
again,
about that.
and
Yeah.
it
like
was
where are the
And that was
top?
it.
Because like I thought Eve Torres was good in that range of era that she was there. I thought Caitlyn
She
was
was
good.
great.
AJ was clearly the star.
Yeah.
And then but like where are those? Like they always go to the Tori Wilsons. They
Yeah.
always go to the Kelly Kellys.
Yep.
We see a lot of the
and,
Molly Holly because
obviously
she's
Molly
there.
Holly. Yeah.
You know, which again, I like all these people. Molly Holly.
Yeah.
What about Ronda Rousey as JPJ's muted himself?
I muted myself. My bad, y'all.
He's too
But like
excited.
we've seen those girls from that era show up like basically in almost every one of these rumbles.
Yeah.
Some of them. When are we gonna get those? Eve, you know who I would like to see make another one-off? Where's Alicia Fox? Give me Alicia Fox one time.
She's been in a couple of them.
Yeah,
so,
she's
I mean,
popped in
yeah.
a couple. Yeah, but yeah,
She still
so like,
wrestles.
yeah, but it's like where? Yeah, Caitlyn, Eve Torres. There are a few others that I'm
Yeah.
not thinking about at this time.
I think
Um,
Eve, it's got to be a case where she just doesn't want to do it.
Doesn't
I mean,
wanna
there's
do it,
she
right?
left on great terms. Oh, that was 12 years ago. Again, she's been gone
Yeah.
for a long time. She's maybe made one on-air appearance since then. I think it was that same year, and she's not been back otherwise. She's definitely on good terms with them. I just don't think, which is weird because she stays in great shape. I know she's a mom now, but she married one of the Gracie guys from MMA or something like that. So
She's like married one of those.
she's like a physical fit, whatever, like guru type stuff. So I don't know. I would be shocked. I'm shocked that we haven't seen her yet. I thought she'd be in the 2018 one. That was 7 years ago. At this point, I've just given up.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would like to see more women from that era. We see the Kelly Kellys. We've seen her in there like 5 times. Nice to see these women, but I want to see some more variety. Mickey James could be in it. You know,
Yeah,
she's
that'd
a
be
free
cool.
agent.
That's a
Nick
good
Aldis'
shout.
wife.
Really
You know,
Yeah.
she's been in a couple surprise ones, but you know, it'd be nice to see
And
her
that
again.
would be nice considering how she left.
Yeah.
To
You know,
have
nice
that
make
whole-
good.
I do think we're I
give
do
her a moment.
I
Mhm.
do think we're going to see more NXT people on the women's side
Yeah, I
than
could
on
see
the
like a
men.
Skull Ruka, Jada Parker,
Yeah,
women like
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
obviously we're Roxanne's a
Jordan.
given. Cora Jade could pop in there.
Cora.
Kalani Jordan, those ones that you mentioned. Like I do think again, even if they're for one-offs, like how you're not going to want to like have somebody like Zarya show up in the
Zarya
Royal
or
Rumble where
Stephanie
everyone's like,
for
who
sure.
the fuck is this? Yeah, all three.
Yeah.
Julia, have your NXT champion. Like, I feel like the NXT women could have 10 people in there if they really
Yeah.
wanted to. That's how
for
loaded they
yeah.
are down there.
Caitlin
Whereas I feel
Clark,
like the
'cause it's
men,
Indy.
yeah, I feel like the men, the two that I really want from the men's side of things, well, three if you include Obafemi getting the rub because he's the champ. I really want Ethan Page and I think Trick Williams. I think those are the two guys that
Trick,
stand
yeah.
out to me on the men's side that could be NXT guys.
Yeah,
Right.
Obafemi, but then now he's champion, so you probably don't
Yeah.
want to have him in there just to lose. So.
Exactly. So, but I
yeah,
feel like
Trick
Ethan,
definitely.
yeah, Trick and Ethan Page, I feel
Yeah.
like are the two guys to me that I'm like, they could debut and just be on the main roster from now on. I think that
Yeah.
would be more than fun.
That'd be
But,
cool.
oh yeah, if they do the Omos, they could do like an Obafemi Omos standoff if they wanted to. Yeah,
I can
I would
see
be
that.
okay with that. I'd be in on that. All right. Can I just tell you my real quick before we get out of here? Can I tell you what I think is going to happen and it's based off the Raw promo that I loved, by the way, with KO and Sammy.
Give it to me.
So KO was talking about how he believed in Sammy because he has Sammy's back, and I believe you're going to win the Royal Rumble because I have your back, just like I believe I'm going to win the ladder match because you have my back. The ladder match will happen before the men's Royal Rumble match, and I think in KO's mind, he thinks that Sammy's going to help him win, and Sammy is not going to help him win.
Yeah.
And I think that KO is going to not enter the Royal Rumble, like personally enter it, like a number, but he's going to eliminate Sami Zayn in the Royal Rumble. Like,
Or make sure he doesn't get in or something.
Yeah, or something like that. Like, you didn't
Yeah.
help me, so now I'm ruining your
Oh,
fucking
for
night.
sure. That would make
And that's how
total
that's going to
sense.
go, and then we're
Yeah.
off to Mania. Like,
I love
think
that.
That's,
Yeah.
I think that's how it's going.
I
Dan
love
Brown.
that, but I don't like that rule.
That's fair. But on Firmly WWE,
But I do love it. But I do love the
Dan
idea.
Brown also, he wrote the same comment in Firmly WWE, and I called him out. I was like, I have this
Are
same
you
thought.
testing, Dan? Are you workshopping things on Firmly that bring you
No.
the beards?
No,
Come on,
no,
dude.
No, but we were talking about it, and Dan had mentioned it, and I said that's exactly what I think's going to
He's over
happen.
here just making
And
see if it
no.
hits on Firmly, so we can.
No,
Dan, come
No.
with some original material.
no, but
Dan is awesome, by the way.
I
Go
wanted,
follow
yeah,
Dan
I
on
wanted
all
to
socials.
shout out Dan because he put it in the comments, and I was like, this guy fucking crushed it. He has stole my idea, this son of a b. And we talked about. I think that is an easy. I think that is an easy, proper way to get.
Crushed it so much so, Graham, that they've invited him to cover Firmly AW on Thursday.
Wow.
I will be
Of course,
traveling
even
to
though
Indianapolis.
even though I am also. Oh, you're not going to be there. It's going to be Drew and Dan.
It's Drew and him. Yeah,
Dan.
so Drew wasn't
Oh.
available today, so
Oh.
I had to have a co-host. And next week I'm flying
Got
to
it.
Indianapolis
Yeah.
during the show.
'Cause Dan's
So
out here slaying.
so Dan is replacing me next week on that.
That's going to be fun.
But that is
There
my
you go.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn theory. That's how we get
that will
to
be good.
KO and Sammy at the
My
Rumble. I do think they
Only
do it
hang
that
up
route.
on that though. I love that idea. I think Owens and Zayn at Mania is the way to go. But what do you do with Owens and Orton? Orton's not back yet. The last time we saw Orton, he got taken out by Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So is that the Mania match? If it's not the Mania match, do you do it at Chamber? Do you do it at all? Does Orton come back and go after Cody instead of Rock's not coming back to face Cody? What do you do on that front?
Well, my thing is, I've always said that the Mania match for Cody this year should have been Randy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best story they have for him. No
I agree.
debate.
Yeah.
That should be the match, but it seems like it's going to be Cena in him. That seems to be what they're saying, which again, Cody and Cena should 100, 1,000, 100,000% be a match on the final run for John Cena.
Mhm.
I think that should be his last match.
Whether it's his last, it doesn't need to be a Mania. I agree. Or SummerSlam doesn't need to be a Mania. It really doesn't.
My thing to me is, and I said it months and months ago, a no-brainer. It should be John Cena versus Gunther. That is a no-brainer Mania match for me. And you can have Cena beat him and beat the record. Fine. All right. He's at the top of the record. Flair's name's out of there. Cena doesn't have to keep it long. He can lose it a month later to somebody else or back to good. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I was like, John Cena winning the Royal Rumble, challenging Gunther, the ultimate good guy versus the ultimate bad guy villain. perfect.
And
It's
that
a
can also-
perfect match.
Yeah. Really any of these matches you could do at any point this year. But I'm just thinking how it affects other people like Cody.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we get Cody and Cena, like you said, like 'cause that's the big
Mania.
report right now. At Mania.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? Orton has no other opponents
It would
unless
be
it's Owens.
but then you're like, okay, then it's going to be Orton and Owens, and then the
Then what
kind of the
happens to
Sammy
Sami
thing
Zayn?
they're building
Yeah.
to. Now, what's he do? It's a triple
Exactly.
threat randomly.
There's-
That doesn't make fucking sense.
I know that
You know?
you've
Yeah.
always said that Orton and Cody's the Mania match. I feel like that's a perfect especially with the 2-night SummerSlam.
I feel like
coming up.
that's what they'll get.
That's a
I feel
great
like that's what we'll
over
get
the
now.
summer Cody and Orton. So
Yeah.
Give it
I
more
just
time
feel
to
like
simmer, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like that. For me, it's based on the story. I think that's the best story and the juiciest
Yeah,
story
for
that
sure,
Cody's
for
going to
sure.
have.
I think
And
you
that
gotta do it.
story is Mania worthy to
Yeah.
me.
I
And
think with
that's-
Cena, I said earlier, but I think you could have Cena win the title at Mania, great moment. But again, I think that's the story throughout this entire farewell tour. I think you can save that for him winning at SummerSlam, if not later, like in a fucking October or something like that. Because, well, here's my other thing. He hasn't won a singles match on pay-per-view in 7 years or whatever. It's been that losing streak he talks about. Him winning the
Mhm.
Rumble, I guess, would break that streak. But like I said, I think the real streak is he hasn't won a singles match on pay-per-view at all, I think, since 2018.
He lost to Austin Theory.
Among many other, he lost to fucking Solo Sikoa among other people.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't think you need to give the moment of him winning his first big singles match and the world title away on the same show. I think you could do the first one and then save the second one for later on. But
Fair.
honestly, either way, Cody and Orton, back to our original point, sign me up.
Oh,
Maybe-
you have to.
I don't know if you can give Ted DiBiase a get out of free
Get out of trouble card for one a night. Can you just show up real quick? My thing was, again, the fantasy booking crap. I was like, oh, you know what should happen? If they do Saturday night's main event in December again, because there's no December pay-per-view, it should be John Cena's last match. It should be in Boston, not just being a homer. That's where the guy is friggin' from. It should be in Boston.
But don't
it
lie,
should
that'd be pretty sweet as a guy from Boston.
Of course.
JPJ's going to be front row for
Oh
that.
my,
match.
please.
Just this the whole time.
I don't know if Greg's. Yeah, please.
Seriously,
I'm
Greg.
requesting it now. I'm requesting it now.
First dibs.
Dibs right now. But it should be, do a December thing. Cena's last match, NBC, Saturday night's main event. It should be him and Cody. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Cody should beat him. And then they give Cena his moment. And then I think that Cody should attack him and turn heel. And you go into 2026 with Cody as a heel.
Wow.
And I think that's how you do it.
Wow.
And I think that's how you do it. And
you
that
had
would
me
be
in the first half.
that would be how I would do it. Cody
That's
wins,
crazy.
he leaves. You have Cena do his moment where he's saying bye to everybody, much
Yeah.
like Cody did in December before KO pile drived his ass.
Yeah.
And then you have Cody, or maybe you have Cody turn on Cena, and then that builds the next character evolution. And then Cody's the heel that's saying, "I retire, John Cena."
I love that idea, but we have to
It
see
won't
where
happen.
Cody's at in December.
Yeah,
Just because
exactly.
if he's still so cheered, and if we're not creatively fatigued by then, because I'm not currently by the baby.
I'm not either.
I'm
all.
fine with it. I mean, I thought we would
Yeah.
be by now. We're not.
Yeah.
If by then, and anything can change in 9 months, then we could be like, okay, pull it. And you also have to have someone ready to fill that slot that he currently has, which they do have a lot of good baby faces, but Punk's 40 something. Roman is still an asshole. He's not that guy. I mean,
Well,
they
it
have,
could- yeah.
LA Knight. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure, but I love the idea. It would be an awesome swerve. I'll tell you that. Much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I always root for the heels, and like Cody's the face of the company. He's going to be for a while, as long as
Yeah.
he's probably there. But I do think we are going to get a massive, terrific Cody Rhodes heel turn at some point. It has to happen.
It's going to hit like
And
crack. I'm telling
my
you right
God,
now.
it's going to be fucking incredible. Like as good as a baby face of the company that he is going to be such a better heel when he does it. And it's
And we
going to
know
be
this, too.
yeah, we already know. We've seen it.
We've
He's a
seen it in
better heel.
Japan and
Yes.
Ring of Honor. Like we know this.
If they let him be that guy as the heel, even with the blonde hair, if he goes back to the black, I don't give a shit. Like if you let him be that guy, it's gonna be incredible. I think if you have, the last televised moment of 2025 is an evil Cody standing over John Cena, and that's the lasting image of John Cena with Cody. Oh man, sign me up. Put it
First
in
of
my
all,
veins.
Homelander Cody has got to happen. Homelander Cody's got to happen from the boys. That's got to happen. And two, you could be setting yourself up there then I mean, he's still an asshole, but he is a babyface. You could set yourself up for Cody and Roman WrestleMania 42. I don't know, that's still a little soon, but roles reversed.
Yep.
Rubber match,
Yeah.
Cody Roman,
Yeah.
part 3, maybe
Yep.
for the title. I don't know.
And
but yeah.
if you think about all that, like, there's so many, and
a
you
lot
just
of
think
matches.
a lot of matches Cody could have
Mhm.
against the baby faces. Because I'm trying to think, because what you said is right. If they do turn Cody heel, or when they do, whether it's
Yeah.
next year, 2 years, 5 years from now, they
Mhm.
do need to have that
and
next
by
guy
then, maybe Dustin Rhodes is out.
that's
He's
ready
got
to
a
fill,
new
like,
contract, and he
is
comes
Jey
back and
Uso-
like,
is-
Cody, what are you
Jey-
doing?
I was
Is
thinking
Jey
actually
Uso
Braun
that guy?
Breaker's
Is Drew
being one,
McIntyre?
too.
Braun Breaker, Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre.
Drew,
Is he a
yeah.
baby face by then? Seth
Could be.
is still going to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you have these guys that can
Yeah.
fill
They
that
have options.
mantle.
Yeah.
But oh man,
Love
I don't
it.
want to get too ahead of it, because I am not fatigued of Cody as the
No,
baby.
I'm
Like,
not
I'm
either.
all
yeah.
in.
Let's
still love
ride
it.
this till it,
Yes,
for
I'm
every
not trying
juice
to
of it.
rush it. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
rush it at all. But I just know, we all know how good it's going to be when they finally fucking do it.
Mhm.
And against Cena and his last match, when like John Cena is going to have a year right now where there's going to be, he ain't getting the Cena sucks boo treatment. Like, we're
No.
going to be, he mentioned winning the Rumble and winning the title in that arena. There was not one boo in there.
Yeah.
And they must have been sitting there going, we were trying to do this for fucking 15 years, guys.
No, John
15
Vince
years.
is sitting at home seething, saying,
We've been
"Where
trying to
was
do
this
this?"
fan support in
You know what I mean? And
2005? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, I lean into it and I'm like, dude, that would be, what a way to turn your biggest baby face in the company heel than
Mhm.
having him turn on the biggest baby face you've ever had in his last match.
Mhm.
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
it would be tremendous. It'd be one of
Inject it
those
into my
things that you talk about forever. Like, it
Oh,
would be
yeah.
like on the shit
Mhm.
forever
And then
if they
says
did it right.
Executive producer Paul Levesque.
Yeah, like, it's just, it would be brilliant. But anyway, that's me getting into my wrestling fandom and fantasy booking, and it should happen in Boston, so me and Graham can be there. All right, thank you. Anyway,
Goddamn right.
I digress. Graham, as always, thank you for joining us tonight. Always a blast when you're on here. Very excited that we get to see you a week from today, or next weekend for the
Yeah,
Rumble. We're
feelings
gonna have
mutual,
a good
yeah.
time there, man.
We didn't know that. Until like 2
We did
hours
not know
ago.
until you popped on and let us
Surprise.
know where this. Yeah, good surprise.
Number 30 in the Rumble. I'm making my entrance. I should have
There it
kept
is.
this. I
Are you
should
gonna-
have just said nothing and then just seen you guys there.
They
Like,
just
hey,
showed up and like, oh shit, what the hell? You didn't say.
I saw
didn't
you
tell us
last
nothing.
week.
Yeah. Are you gonna do the Pat McAfee though, where you hop in and then hop immediately out, or are you gonna like, try to win the thing?
You got to play it strategic. You know, you got to take some.
Or you could do the
notes
Jerry the
and-
King Lawler, where you just hide under the ring until
Exactly.
there's
That's
one
probably
guy
what I
left,
would
and then you dump him out and you get the win.
Exactly. I'm not taking a single fucking bump. I'm gonna pull a
No.
rock. Maybe I'll come in at number 31 or something like that. I don't know. We'll work something
Figure it out. Yeah.
Dwayne, Dwayne's not listening. It's fine. He didn't hear my whole rant on him. He probably doesn't care. He knows I still love him. It's fine.
Oh, of course, we all do. We
But
all
if he clotheslines you in Indianapolis, well, I don't know that guy.
I don't know.
He's not with us.
Yeah,
Rock, he's not with us. No.
Uh-oh.
He wasn't
Yeah.
on the show last week.
No,
Oh, yeah,
no,
no.
of course not. We'll scrub this. We won't even have the
I was
replay
sitting
up.
home
We'll just
on
be like, no, we
Thursday
don't.
night,
We
sipping
just
my
met him.
te-
We just met him earlier
sipping my
today.
tequila. And
Seemed
I
like
just
an all right
happened to
guy. What
catch
happened?
Between two beards. And
Yeah.
Just then why? Just it erased it from existence. All right. Never happened.
Exactly. All right. Before we get out of here, plug your stuff. Let the people know where they can find you, what you do every week, where all your content is. Let the people know.
Well, I appreciate the platform as always. As you mentioned at the top of the show, Wrestle Rant. Find my work on Bleacher Report, YouTube, all that other great stuff. At Wrestle Rant on the Twitter machine, on YouTube as well, the website WrestleRant.com. And I will be there in Indianapolis as well, doing some great stuff. So I'm looking forward to the show. Looking forward to seeing you guys first and foremost. And it's going to be a fun time. Always a great time chatting wrestling between two beards. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. We love having you here. So,
Yeah, definitely.
Pluggo, you know the drill, brother. Do the damn thing.
Oh no, I got nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
You
Of
got
course
nothing?
I got stuff.
You need me to take over?
No, I got stuff. We got
Okay.
stuff. Tomorrow, Saturday night, 6 p.m., the Love Pro Wrestling preview show for Cool Beans with Big Bad Boris and On 4 Exposure. I also got the Oil Rumble previews going to drop tomorrow because we're going to back at Rogers Place tomorrow
Friday
night.
night.
Love Pro Wrestling.
Friday
I would've
night.
got it out sooner, but everyone in my house is sick. It's been a long week. And then you can find me at Pluggo _ on all social media platforms. And every Thursday night, we're here with this guy here, Between Two Beards. If you want to know what we got going on for Between Two Beards and what we're doing in the Rumble, head to B2 Beards on all social media platforms for that. Check out our merch link. We got merch now. It's at the top of the Twitter page right now.
We should probably
got
make a
hats.
banner. We should make a
We
banner. or
should.
something
We
for
should.
down
We
here.
we're getting slowly but surely we're getting professional with this. And
Yeah.
then my top 5 favorite things of the week will drop Sunday night at 5:00 on
Love it.
lovewrestling.ca.
Love it. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including Twitch, where I stream a few times a week playing some video games. Obviously, Thursday nights here, like this guy just said, Between Two Beers, the flagship here at Love Wrestling, Love Pro Wrestling, I was going to say, but Love Wrestling. Next Thursday, stay
let
tuned
you
to
know.
the socials. We'll let you know. We're figuring it out because we will be traveling next Thursday. So we'll let you guys know. But you know to expect us Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can find me right here on this channel as well. 10 a.m. Firmly Love Wrestling. On Tuesdays, we talk WWE. On Thursdays, we talk AEW. Graham, once again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everybody in the chat for the
I
great
love
comments.
you, Graham.
Yeah, for the great comments, the great questions. You guys rule. You guys make the show a lot easier with all you guys and all the stuff you put in the chat. So thank you all. For everybody here on screen, for everybody here at Love Wrestling, we appreciate you all. And you guys know the drill. Until next time, say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Peace out.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. You know, get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm gonna cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer gonna get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourselves.